But all right, Jack Doe. How many people say do?
A lot of people, man. Almost everyone has said dough.
Or
Like in
do.
my
They say though.
No, they say do, yeah.
Yeah, they say do.
And I'll have to say, I'll have to correct them, but like, dude, I don't mind. Like, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Like that, because it's literally just do, right?
Yeah.
So it is literally like we see it and it's do. Where are you from? Like, where does the name come from?
So my family is from Vietnam. Um, like both my parents were like born and raised over there,
Mm-hmm.
and they moved here like after the war.
The Vietnam War?
Yeah.
Wow. So what was it, like 1950?
It was like 1970 something,
19.
around the 1970s, like late 1970s and early 1980s.
Because JFK got assassinated before that really started popping off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So like 1970s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Vietnam. They came from the war.
Yeah, so essentially, like the war happened and everything, and then like my family is on like the South Vietnamese side. So I don't know if you're familiar with like the whole premise of the war.
Not really. I always heard it's just like, oh, we're fighting communism, you know?
Yeah, so I think essentially, in that time, like the US was really focused on trying to limit the expansion of communism
Mhm.
as like a political like structure in the world. And like two of the countries that China was expanding to was like Korea and Vietnam. And essentially like the northern Vietnam side was like all the people that were like conforming to China and like all their communist beliefs.
Mhm.
And then the people of the south are like were the ones that were like resisting communism, and like people that resisted communism that lived in the north would like run down to the south, for instance. And so what ended up happening was like there was this war, and they were just fighting against like Vietnam was just fighting against communism like internally, and like the U.S. stepped in to like help the like the non-communist side, which was the South at the time,
Mhm.
and like
But were they like was it the rebellion? Was it like a democratic type or capitalist type or
yeah, I think it was. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, but I think it was more like capitalist
uh-huh.
for sure. Like I can't 100% say that it was like a democracy,
Yeah.
like how it is in the U.S.
Yeah, I
But
don't even know if we have a democracy on.
yeah, like
Yeah.
right now. But I mean, essentially, like we were fighting against like communism, and I think the political party that the South the Southern people wanted was like a more like democratic or like a more freer like society.
Mhm.
Um, and so like essentially the U.S. stepped in the Vietnam War to like help the South, and they ended up like withdrawing because they got like the U.S. lost too many people. Like there was way too many casualties.
There we go.
Yeah. Because I think the main issue was like the Viet Cong, which is like the northern Vietnamese people
Mhm.
were very accustomed to like the land and how to navigate like the jungle,
Mhm.
and the U.S. and the southern Vietnamese side were not really like I guess accustomed to like fighting on their grounds,
Mhm.
and so because of that lack of
They also made like underground tunnels, right? But
yeah.
like short enough to because I heard that they're like shorter than normal and they were able to make the tunnel so short that only they would be able to maneuver
Yeah.
quickly underneath there.
Yeah, it was like a whole concept called like guerrilla warfare, I think, where
That's where guerrilla warfare
I
started.
dude, you might have to fact check me on this. Like I'm not 100% confident,
Uh-huh.
but I'm pretty sure like there's some term. It could be guerrilla warfare or like something else, but there's definitely a term that refers to like the the tactics and the strategies that they would use to fight in the jungle and like in the forest.
Yeah.
Um, and so like essentially, like the U.S. pulled out and they lost. Um, and so everyone who was fighting for like the South, like you had two options. Like you either had to flee or like you were gonna be like a prisoner of war.
Hmm.
Um,
You
uh,
couldn't just accept the new government and fall in line, I guess.
that I think that was also like a possibility. But I think if you were like you had like family members in the war, and because like a lot of the Southern Vietnamese people were like kind of forced to join the war to just to fight for their beliefs, or like it was either that or like conform
Hmm.
essentially. I would think that like if you're fighting and you had like a family member who you lost in the war or something, like I guess like some of those people wouldn't want to conform because they would feel like they're like betraying their family in a way. And I think for my family, like more specifically, like my dad's side, like my grandfather was one of the higher generals like in the war. Um, like he was like a really like high, like he led like a whole like platoon of people.
Your grandfather?
Yeah, and so a lot of people like looked up to him. And then when we got the news that like these are just stories that like my family would tell me because I wasn't I wasn't born at the time, but like when we got the news that like they lost a lot of the uh a lot of the soldiers like in his platoon, instead of like they were really scared, and instead of like fleeing or like I think it got to the point where like they couldn't flee, they decided to just like commit suicide instead of like
Seppuku or whatever it's called.
yeah, instead of like I guess like accepting to be like a prisoner of war.
Yeah.
But my grandfather like accepted that uh like that condition to like be a prisoner of war.
Oh.
And so he was imprisoned for like 17 years, which is like a really long time.
And your family had already escaped Vietnam by this point?
No, so my mom's side of the family did. Because my mom and dad, they knew each other, but like they weren't married at the time. But my mom's side of the family, like they escaped over because they were like I believe they were a lot like not a lot wealthier, but like wealthier.
Mm-hmm.
So they had the funds to like have people go and like escape by like boats. But my dad's side of the family, like my grandfather was in prison. And so my grandmother was at home taking care of like what is it, 7 kids
Mm-hmm.
that my dad has, or like so, no, that my grandparents have. So my dad being one of them. I think my dad was like really young at the time, maybe like in his teens. Um, and so that was kind of like a time that my family went through was like, um, like my grandfather in prison, so my grandmother was at home, like take basically like having the role of two parents.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily for us, like my uncle and my aunt were like in their like late teens at the time, and so they could step in into like a more um I guess like a leadership role in the house, so that they could be like better, I guess, role models for their younger siblings. And so it wasn't like my grandmother was raising 7 kids on her own. It was more so like they were also stepping in and accepting that role of like hey, like we're in this crappy situation, like let's step up for the family kind of deal.
Yeah. It almost seems like those types of families that grow up in those types of environment where it's like, uh, you have to figure it out. Like
Yeah.
you have to help out somehow. Like
Uh-huh.
everything just isn't just given to you. You gotta, hey, I don't know if we're gonna eat this weekend. Like I did. Like gotta find, gotta find something or whatever the situation may be. Um, but yeah, because a lot of people use this excuse that if you can't bring a life into this world and be able to provide for it effectively, then you shouldn't have a child. But I think that's like a suicidal type of mentality. It's like it's kind of against the whole point of being of existing, right? Like, I think we're here to um proliferate what was it that God said in Genesis?
I guess like divide and multiply.
Divide and multiply. Yeah, exactly. But if you're saying if you have the mentality of I don't want to add humans to this world because humans are evil and we just mess everything up, then you just okay. It's a pretty negative mindset to put yourself into. But now, like you're saying, oh, I don't know, how did that affect them in a positive way or in a negative way, growing up in that scrappy way?
I think for sure like a positive way. And I do kind of agree with like what you're saying in terms of like that fear, like that trepidation of having kids because you're not able to like provide for them like an ideal scenario. Like I think that mentality is like really common nowadays in like mainstream or like I guess like the modern world over here where like countries that are like way more developed have a lot lower of a like a birth rate because I think the overall mentality is like, oh, like we want to raise these kids and like give them the best that we can and be able to have them have like this perfect world. But then I think the danger with that is like you raise these kids in like this ideal environment where everything is kind of like given to them in a way.
There's no friction.
Yeah, there's no like friction, there's no like external like forces of like fear or like oh am I going to be able to eat today like you said or like oh like if I don't do this like something really bad is going to happen or like those kind of scenarios um like these kids nowadays just all they have to do is focus on school and like having fun and
Yeah.
making friends, you know. But I think my family going through that where they balanced not only like being really focused and dedicated in school but like also like really like helping out around the house and like picking up more chores and like just doing things to like contribute to the family without things being given to you all the time. Like I think that um like that kind of mindset that you raise your kids with, I think like those people grow up to be way more like I guess like self-driven
Hmm.
and they don't adopt like this victim mentality where it's like, oh, like bad things are happening to me and there's nothing I can do about it kind of deal. You know what I mean? So because
Yeah.
my family never really had that mentality growing up and like they never really like raised me with that mentality either. Because like bad things will happen to everyone, but it's like what are you gonna do in your situation to overcome those obstacles? And so I think like if I had children or like kids in the future, obviously like I would be there to like try and give them the best life that I can give them as a parent, but like I also want them to learn that like in life like not everything's given to you and like you have to work through things and like you're going to face these challenges, these roadblocks and bad things are going to happen to you, but like you got to find a way to deal with it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So your grandma had to raise seven kids on her own,
Yeah.
and what was the separation between the seven? Like there was an oldest by a lot, or like was the oldest like a 10-year difference from the youngest, or
Yeah. Yeah, the oldest was like 10-year difference from the youngest. So they were all like a big like bunch.
uh-huh.
So I think like I'm just estimating right now, but like the oldest at the time was probably like 18
Hmm.
and then the youngest at the time was probably around like 10, 9 or 10.
Okay.
And so it wasn't like they were raising like newborn kids or anything like that.
Yeah.
But my family learned a lot about like sharing and like how to live together and like um things like that. Like a lot of the issues that families face nowadays in their own household of like, oh, my two kids aren't getting along, like those kind of issues like you just can't afford to have in like a family like environment like this
Yeah.
where it's like it's literally like a life or death like kind of deal. Like
Yeah.
like my dad would tell me like um his older siblings would like go to school, and then they would like run home and like take off their uniform and like give it to him so that he could go to school in like that uniform, because we didn't have like enough money for like multiple uniforms.
Uh-huh.
And it's like dude, like it's like they were facing that, and like families nowadays, and like the kind of conflicts that kids go through nowadays with each other is like, oh, like more like way more trivial than like these kind of deals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm a person that really believes a lot in like you grow a lot from like your mistakes, and you grow a lot from your pains. So dude, I think like my family like got really really close from that, and like I know a lot of families nowadays are like really shattered and broken, in terms of like, oh, like uncles aren't talking to each other and like things like that, but like never had that issue with my family.
Yeah. You keep close communication with everybody?
Yeah.
Cause I would say that I have a great relationship with my family, but I have this issue where I just don't call. Like anytime we talk, it's either they call me or whatever. But recently I've been doing better in that at least like try at least once a week, at least one of the main like my mom or my dad and my brother and my sisters trying to get some kind of consistency there. But I don't know why I like so terrible.
Dude, I'm also very terrible at calling like
Yeah,
my parents and my family. Like I always just wait for them to call me.
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
not like a it's not like a good thing.
I know. So, yeah, you guys came from Vietnam, but your mom's side came first, and then your dad's side came over?
Yeah. Yeah, so they came a lot earlier because like they had more money, and they just had the resources to come over here.
Hmm.
And then my dad's from my dad's side of the family, like I believe after my grandfather got out of prison was when the US actually like sponsored our family to come over, because
Really?
of because of his position in like the army. They were like, yeah, like you guys like just come over to the US. And so they came over at about like
So
it
he
was like
was a prisoner of war for 17 years. Then after 17 years, once the US decided to leave in the negotiation process, they were able to liberate all the prisoners and allow those prisoners of war to be able to start a life
um
in the US.
I'm not sure about like I don't know if there's like an official process for like all of the prisoners of war,
Hmm.
but I just know like for the special case of like my grandfather, um he was granted that because of his position. I'm sure like other people were also like invited to come over, but I like, to be honest, I don't know like the numbers for that, and I don't know how many, because like some people didn't even want to come, like they were
Hmm.
just content with like living in the Vietnam that was there at the time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah. Well, I would assume it's hard to leave your like your ancestral home.
yeah,
Yeah. Because there is a huge distinction. Because I don't know, living over here, growing up over here, we never really make the distinction between Taiwan, Vietnam, Korea, Japan. It's just all Asia, you know.
yeah.
Um, but then I hear about places like Laos
Hmm.
or even the Philippines. The Philippines seems like it's more Mexican than Asian. Honestly, like all the Filipino people I've met, and especially in Nevada, they are all they all have Mexican personalities,
Uh-huh.
and all their names are Spanish.
Yeah.
And even though they have different dialects that they talk, but their mannerisms, the way they say their jokes,
Hmm.
the I don't know, it just seems all very familiar to me. Yeah, and Catholicism is big in Philippines too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, dude, like that church we went to,
Hmm.
they have Filipino mass every Saturday at 4. And they have like a
So right before, or
Filipino.
right after, well, right before we were there, they were there. The Filipino mass happened.
Sorry, it was like it's gonna be only the first Sunday, the
Oh,
first Saturday of
oh
the
yeah,
month.
yeah,
So like yeah, I think that's just based off of like
yeah. Hmm.
colonization history, because I think a lot of the conquistadors from Spain
Yeah.
were colonizing and evangelizing in the Philippines. And then in the case of I can't really speak on other countries, but like in the case of Vietnam, it was more of the French people
Uh-huh.
that were the ones that were bringing their culture and their religion over to Vietnam.
Uh-huh.
And so that's why my family and like my dad knows a little bit of French because I think they learned that
Really?
in the Vietnamese schools or
Mhm.
in the schools in Vietnam back there. Um, but yeah, I think through those channels, like that was how Catholicism spread
Yeah.
was through especially Spain, man, because Spain back in like the 1500s, like they were responsible for like all of the I guess the people from like non-Spain went to like the like North America, but then Spain
Went everywhere
went to
else.
like yeah, like to Mexico and to
Yeah.
South America and spread their culture and religion there.
Mhm.
That's why we have like so many, I guess, like Hispanic and Mexican people who are Catholic.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, because obviously colonialism, as soon as we hear the word, it's like negative, it's like bad. But like, how did that all happen? Like, what incentivized Spain to go to the Philippines or France to go to Vietnam? Like, I guess we all understand, like here in the U.S., how this all happened. But even in Mexico, because there's a there's a distinction between how colonization happened in Mexico as opposed to here in the US. In the US, like Christianity came, but it was Protestant.
Hmm.
And in Mexico, it was Catholic. Um, and then in Mexico, this thing happened to where there was a lot of assimilation
Hmm.
with the indigenous people. Like there's like Mexico's basically half indigenous, half white, but it's all mixed now. It's not There's not a huge distinction between the two. Like my dad's super brown, but my mom's super white,
Yeah.
and they both have been in Mexico like for all their like for generations upon generations. Um, but here in the U.S., I don't think there was a whole assimilation with the indigenous culture. I think it was just all get the fuck out of here.
Dude,
Eh,
question. So when you're saying indigenous, you mean like the Native Americans that were
yeah.
here in like the 1500s, whenever Columbus and
Hmm.
all those people came?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for the case of the U.S., like we just saw ourselves like the people who colonized like the U.S. saw themselves as like a superior kind of people.
Hmm.
Um, and also I know that like we brought a lot of diseases that ultimately like got the best of these people.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was ever like I don't think we when they colonized the U.S. like they ever even thought about like assimilating with the people.
Yeah.
Like it was more just so like I don't think it was at all like religiously driven. It was more just like I guess like money driven
Hmm.
or like economically driven.
Hmm.
And so for those reasons, like they were making the best economic decisions for like their country, I would say. And if that means like, oh, you guys are just like out of here
Yeah.
kind of deal,
Yeah.
then like that's kind of like what happened. But I mean that brings up a good point because then we would have to look at South America and Mexico and try and figure out how like the culture from Spain and Portugal for in the case of like Brazil, I guess,
Yeah.
or how those people were like I guess assimilated. Like were they just more welcome by the
I don't know. Recently, since I'm like starting to look into or reverting back to Catholicism, like I'm trying to find the distinction between the differences between the two, Protestantism and Catholicism. Catholicism meaning like universal, like that's what Catholic means is universal, and I think that the main motto of Catholicism is that we're all equal now, like 100%, no matter like what color your skin, where you come from, whatever your blood is, like as soon as like you are the same. Just accept Jesus into your life
yeah.
and submit to the Pope. And after that, it's all good in the hood, man.
Yeah.
But with Protestantism, since there is no um there's no final word on like on who gets to decide on what the different doctrines are. That just means that I mean, whatever I say goes, whatever you say on your side over there goes, whatever. Don't mess with my people, I won't mess with yours. And I think that's how like the like Mormonism started and like all these different denominations all over the US, like because even the Mormons, they started like really early, and
Yeah.
I've come to find out that they were really violent early on. Did you ever hear about the Mormon? I think they did a genocide at some
Really?
point. Yeah,
I don't think I've heard about that. Was it like in the 1800s
yeah,
in the
super
U.S.?
early on. I forgot his name. There was a governor at the time that was because like in the Utah area type place back when Thomas Jefferson was president. I think it was Thomas Jefferson that was president. Um, there was a Mormon governor over this territory,
Hmm.
and he had like his own militia.
Yeah.
And even though the U.S. was already a thing over in the East, it hadn't like seized control of the rest of the continent that we consider the U.S. now. So the Mormons had this like militia in place at the time. Ah, I know this guy's name. It's just um, it'll come to me at some point. Brigham Hill, Brigham something.
Uh-huh.
It's can
You can like look
it's
it up
coming. It's coming.
if I say some if I go or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a good idea. Let's just ask Grok directly. Did the Mormons do a Brigham Hill? No. Brigham Young.
Yeah.
Brigham Young. That's his name. Uh,
Did you find that or did it
no,
come to
no.
you?
It just finally came to me. Hey, did the Mormons during the time of Brigham Young uh commit a genocide?
No, not genocide.
Hmm?
The big event people point to is the Mountain Meadows Massacre in 1857. About 120 immigrants from a wagon train were killed by Mormon militiamen and some Paiute allies in southern Utah.
Like how at the end it's like not the legal definition of genocide, because that's another big like topic of discussion for a lot of people. What does genocide
Yeah.
mean? Oh, it's not legally genocide because we didn't systematically kill these people or whatever.
Right.
But I don't know. But yeah, no, it definitely was not a genocide. It's definitely not equal to what's going on nowadays.
Right.
120 people is still like
A lot.
not a good thing, but yeah, I think I saw this show one time that kind of depicted this one scene, and it was pretty violent, and I guess I just don't remember the details of it, but yeah. Point is that a lot of Protestantism,
Yeah.
a lot of different like ideologies, dogmas, it just doesn't it's not fertile ground for unity.
Mm-hmm.
And Catholicism, if we all believe in the same God and the same rules, teachings, and morals, and
Mm-hmm.
it kind of allows you to mingle with everybody.
Yeah. Dude, I think this is something that I could probably talk about all day, honestly.
Great.
Like
Yeah.
I think when I was around 15 or so, that was before I was getting confirmed. I had a lot of these questions
Hmm.
about like because I was like I don't know if you are as well, but I was like a cradle Catholic.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Yeah.
So I was born and raised in the church, and my family was like also pretty religious. So I followed their religion. I think at a young age, out of obedience more than anything, like out of obedience and fear that like oh if I don't follow them, like I'm making them mad, and then like going down the whole rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But then I think around confirmation year in like 10th grade was when I started having those questions. I was like, man, like, is this like really the religion that I believe in? Like if God spawned me into this world and I didn't have my parents' influence, like would I find like Catholic religion?
Yeah.
And I think during that time I asked a lot of questions and did a lot of research, and I was able to like come to the conclusion that like it was and it's the religion like I kind of wanted to follow. So I would love to talk more about like Protestant
Yeah.
history, like church
Yeah.
history, stuff like that. Like I think it really like kicked off around the 1300s, I would say, where before that, right? Like I would say, if you believed in Jesus, you were either like a part of the Catholic Church or like the Eastern Orthodox Church, which is like broke off in like the 300s.
Mm-hmm.
And I think around the 1300s, and it mainly started in Europe, because Europe was like ruled by every country had like their own king and queen. It was a very like monarchical society.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like during the time, like you were just like serving your king, whatever. Um, and that was like the structure of like the political life, I would say. But then the structure of the religious life was the same. Like every diocese had their own bishop that you had to follow, and then the bishop reported to the pope. So everything was very like monarchical and structural. And I think people started to like break away from that when they started following these other philosophers and things like that, where it was like started around like the Renaissance era, where like people started to really just like think for themselves. Like I think
Voltaire, Nietzsche.
yeah, and like Descartes was the first one that was like, hey, like he said like the famous quote, like I think, therefore I am.
Uh-huh.
It's like I have a mind and I have a thought, and so therefore like I'm a person that adds
I'm an
value and like
individual.
exactly, and I'm not just someone that like is a subject to a king,
Yeah.
you know. And so he brought up that whole idea, and that began like a wave of like political revolutions and things like that, where they would overthrow the kings. But I think it started first before even like political revolutions. It started in the religious world, where a guy named Martin Luther, who was a Catholic at the time, because most people were like in Europe were Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot of
You were a Christian, you were a Catholic. Yeah.
pretty much, yeah, unless you were like in Eastern, like in Russia, where like you're following like the Eastern Orthodox Church. But I think during that time, like he published like 95 his 95 theses,
Mm-hmm.
where like he had 95 claims or points that he opposed the church for.
Mm-hmm.
And one of his major claims was like Sola Scriptura, which is basically like the Bible is the lone soul, like
Yeah.
the Bible alone is like the source of truth.
The sole arbiter of truth.
Right.
Sola
Whereas
Scriptura, Sola Fide. There was like 5.
yeah, Sola Fide was like faith alone. Like
Mhm.
the only thing that saves you is like your faith. Um, and I think I was looking into like those concepts like a lot at the time, and
When you were 15?
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
I was asking like all these questions, and I don't think I got too far, but like I'm still like researching and like investigating, like looking into like the history behind that nowadays now. But like I think the main issue the main issue that I have with Sola Scriptura, which basically says that like the Bible alone is like the source of truth, like you'd have to look back, like first of all, like who there would have to be like a group of people who defined what the Bible is,
Yeah.
you know. And
Which
so
was the
if
Catholic Church.
yeah, and so it's like if you're saying that this is like the source of truth, then technically you're conforming to the people
Catholic.
in
Yeah.
in the year 300, when they like, or like the year like 100, or I don't know how long ago, but like
I think it was canonized in 300 by Pope Da- Damascus, I think.
huh.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you're conforming to them, because their ideas and their thoughts of like, oh, here's what belongs in the Bible and what doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
was like defined back then.
Yeah.
And I think the Protestants reject like, it's either I think it's seven of the books um that are in the Catholic Bible now. Like if you look up the Catholic Bible, there's like 73 books.
Yeah. The
But
general canonical.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like those books that like they say, oh, these books were not like divinely inspired.
Yeah. It's like
So
Maccabees 1, 2,
yeah, uh,
Jude, Esther. No. not Esther.
I know, I
Yeah.
definitely know of like First and Second Maccabees for
Yeah.
sure. There's I don't remember. We could ask.
Yeah.
Say I had too.
No, but go.
But like yeah, like so they removed those books, and then and it's also like, dude, I think Sola Scriptura is so dangerous, is because it gives you that notion of like, oh, like anyone can pick up a Bible and just like interpret it for themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and then from there, like they can have their own beliefs about like what's true, and then they can like have their own church of followers that they or other people that they've convinced that like this is their interpretation of the Bible is correct.
Mhm.
And I think that dangerous kind of mindset has caused like so many different denominations to happen today,
Yeah.
is because everyone just like like people just start having this belief that like they can pick up the Bible and like have an interpretation that like one is like maybe taken out of context, and then two that they're not even like, I mean, yeah, it's just like really taken out of context, and then they just like go down like this whole rabbit hole of like convincing other people that like they're correct, and then creating a whole new church, and then really just like breaking away from like what the actual like capital T truth is,
Yeah.
which is like what I think is also like a big issue in today's society, is like we don't know like what the capital T.
Oh, my truth is different from your truth.
Yeah. But I think, dude, like I just think like that ideology and that claim is like so one, it's like so dangerous, and two, it's like so like I understand the whole like I think therefore I am concept,
Mhm.
where it's like oh, like I'm a human being, so like I have like my own thoughts and my own words and like my own actions, like they come from me.
Yeah.
But I think whenever we say that like, and I think like it's good for like the regular world, like the political world, like I'm all for democracies and things like that. But when it comes to like the religious world, when because like in the political world, like everyone has their own experiences and everyone has their own like lives, and so they should be able to vote like however they whatever best fits like their scenario.
Their reality.
Right, like they're lowercase truth, I would say.
Yeah.
But then I think in the political or in the religious world, like I don't think there are lowercase truths.
There's
There's
only the
one capital, yeah, there's only like one capital T truth.
Yeah.
And so whenever someone um boldly claims like, hey, like this is I read this and I understood it to be this differently, like that's so dangerous, because it's like you're going against like the capital T truth, and like you're basically saying like, hey, like you're rejecting church history, because you're saying like all these people that have lived and died and interpreted it this way, like they're incorrect.
Yeah.
And I think that is one that's like very, I think that's too prideful, man. Like I don't think that like, and like I don't, I just struggle, I really struggle with that. It's like I would never dare to think that like, oh, I pick up a Bible and like within 10 days, like I find something that like no one has found for thousands of years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think that that's impossible.
Mhm.
Like I really genuinely think that like unless God is planting ideas in my mind or something, like I genuinely think that like I would not be able to find something that millions of people over the course of like 2 centuries now, or like 2000 years now, like would not have been able to like interpret it the same way that I have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. Because I don't. People say read the Bible, read the Bible, just read your Bible. Thing is that, especially for someone who isn't like doesn't understand different styles of writing and being able to like reading comprehension is a real problem for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like just regular reading. And the Bible, like it's one book, but it's a book full of different of a bunch of other books put together, like because Genesis is was written from someone else than Maccabees or like that, and then the Gospels. There are four. There was four different apostles that are basically trying to tell you the same story from four different perspectives.
Yeah.
And like all of that isn't just obvious to the person that starts reading. The one day he said, "Let there be light," and like that. All this stuff is complicated. Um, which is why I think tradition is super important, just to kind of get your feet wet into some of these big general concepts. But yeah, no, I agree. The Sola Scriptura stuff, I think Sola Scriptura led us to the point where we're at now, sending our troops to go fight for a foreign country named Israel,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a whole lot of religious zealots here in the US that believe that we have to protect that foreign country at all costs, because if we don't, then God is gonna get mad at us or something. And but yeah, like the Sola Scriptura got us to the place where we're supporting genocide.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so Sola Scriptura was one of your hang-ups. What else?
I think the other big thing was like faith alone,
Mhm.
like sola fide.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the like Martin Luther was the first one who I think kind of like started it, but his whole idea was like, and this is based off of like his interpretation of the Bible, obviously.
Mhm.
But he was saying like, oh, like you're saved by like your faith alone. And I think a lot of Protestant people, like if you see maybe clips of them online, or like you go to like a Protestant service, um they they follow this idea like once saved always saved.
Mhm.
And I think that is also, I think that is also extremely dangerous
Yeah.
to like assume, like they're basically assuming their place in heaven
Yeah.
once they're baptized.
Uh-huh.
Like I like they're just like, oh, like I have
I mean, there's a lot of Protestants who don't even believe in baptism, dude.
yeah, exactly. Like I can't even speak for all the Protestants. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But like what I'm trying to say is that like I think it's so dangerous when you just like you're like, oh, like I have a seat in heaven and that's my seat
Mhm.
just because I got baptized. I think that's so dangerous.
Yeah.
But because they're always
Or just because I accepted Jesus into my heart or whatever.
yeah, yeah. I just like that's, and I might be interpreting it wrong, but that is their idea of like sola fide. It's like once you're saved, like once you get baptized and you believe in Jesus and you believe that he died for our sins,
Yeah.
and you accept him as your Lord and Savior, like they kind of believe like that is all you need to be saved. And I've spoken to some Protestant people about this actually, and what they've told me is like, because I would just bring up this point. I'd be like, hey, like, okay, like let's say like today I go and I get baptized into the church and I have a valid baptism, and I become like a Christian, and then tomorrow I go out and like I just go on like this killing spree where like I just like commit like the worst crimes like possible. And then I asked him, I'm like, and is my seat in heaven like still reserved? Because like you said, like a sola fide, like you only need your faith, and
Yeah.
I can
After I killed everybody, I'm still like,
yeah,
you're my Lord
dude,
and Savior, Jesus.
exactly, and like, please forgive my sins because like I did all these horrible things.
Mhm.
Which like I don't doubt that, I don't doubt Jesus' mercy. Like
Mhm.
I do think that Jesus' mercy is like infinite, and like even if you do these atrocious things, like if you truly repent and you believe and like
That's the thing, truly, to
yeah,
truly repent.
exactly. And I think what they mentioned to me was like one of their answers that I got was like, oh, in that case, like we don't believe you had a valid baptism, and we don't believe that you validly like accepted Jesus as like your Lord and Savior because your actions are not reflecting that.
Yeah.
Which is something that I would agree with, but I would say that we do, like we as Christians, we do not, we do that more often than we think, in the sense that like I'm not saying that like we're out here like killing 30 people and like doing like all these horrible things, but I'm saying is that like um in the sense of like sola fide, like I can say like, oh, I believe in Jesus and I accept him as our Lord and Savior. But if I go out and like I commit a mortal sin, which like is just like a pretty much like a something that's like super serious, and I do it with like full knowledge and full consent.
Mhm.
If I just go out there and I commit a mortal sin, I'm saying like, hey Jesus, like I know that I'm in this relationship with you. I understand that, but I'm choosing to do this over choosing to be in a relationship with you. And so I think in those cases, like you're technically like you're losing your salvation because you're basically like denying your baptism, because you're saying like, hey, like I know that I'm supposed to be part of this body of Christ, but I'm gonna choose this worldly thing,
Mhm.
this worldly sin, um, just because I want this right now instead of like um wanting you.
Yeah.
And so I think in those cases you definitely like you lose your salvation, and it is only through like I guess confession that you can regain it back. And so that if someone asked me that question, that's how I would answer it. But I think if you ask Protestants the same question I asked them about, like, hey, you got baptized today, you did something really horrible tomorrow,
Yeah.
you would get
Well, really,
a lot of different answers.
problem is when they say once saved, always saved.
Yeah.
Like that's the main
Right.
Problem that Sola Fide would usually lead to. Because I think a lot of these evangelists, the way they try to sell it is that it's easy. Like it's easy. You just have to accept Jesus into your life and
Yeah.
as your Lord and Savior. Just do it one time and you're good. You know, you get to go to heaven. Like that's it. Become a Christian. Come on, right now. I'll baptize you.
Mm-hmm.
And but I think those are like it feels cheap. It feels like a cheap type of evangelizing. Whereas Catholicism, like I don't even know how like Catholics go and evangelize other than just in general, like talking about it, I guess, in this way. Because obviously Catholics aren't going door to door, like
Right.
annoying people, like, hey, have you accepted Jesus into your life? But even then, I mean, like we were talking about earlier, like this year has been the most Catholic converts in a long time. But why is that? Why do you think people are coming back to Catholicism?
Dude, that's a great question. I actually wanted to harp on a point that you had mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Because you had mentioned like evangelism,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that I think that that's also like a really good topic to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
because I like, how do you feel about, because I have my opinions, but I want to hear what you feel about this, but like, how do you feel about those people who like preach the gospel in the streets and like who like are all up in your faces about like um oh, you should evangelize and like you should follow Jesus, like all people in the streets that
Personally, when I did it, when I see them, it's annoying.
yeah.
It's like it's imposing. It's not proposing. Like you are seriously trying to impose your religious beliefs on someone else. But but not only that, not only just the idea of imposing it as opposed to proposing it was is kind of like the whole Catholic view on it. I think they they do it in a way they do it in a way that doesn't even make sense. Like they're just quoting scripture, but like someone who doesn't know anything about it, it's not like they're gonna hear Jesus said to this, and that on in this verse or whatever. But unless you like try to dissect that and try to get to the meat and potatoes of what Jesus is trying to say, it's hard to going back to just reading the Bible. Like the Bible is hard to understand.
Yeah.
And once you start to just like throwing scripture out there to people, I just don't think it's all that effective, and not just not effective. I think it's counter to the whole goal of trying to evangelize people. Like you're pushing people away. I feel like.
Yeah, dude, I 100% agree. Like, I think it hurts us more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just puts kind of like a bad image of us into media,
Yeah.
where they're like saying like, oh, these Christian people need to like impose themselves on to others in order to get followers or like believers.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way the church approaches and the way that I've seen evangelism happen and the way that I've been, I guess, like mentored about the idea of evangelism is like we are not called as Catholics and as Christians to like, we are not responsible.
Catholics, Christians, same thing.
We are not called as followers of Jesus to like, we are not responsible for someone's conversion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you cannot tell me like, hey, like if your friend here, if he doesn't get converted, like that's on you. Like
Yeah.
you
Like, it's
cannot
not my
put
fault.
you cannot put that on me.
Yeah.
I think our role as Christians and as Catholics is like our role is to like plant the seed. Like we need to put up an idea of like God in their mind and like God exists and like the goodness of God in their head.
Yeah.
And it's up to God then at that point, working through like the Holy Spirit to guide them in the direction that they need to in order to like complete that conversion.
Mm-hmm.
And so like the way that I've seen conversion happen is like very simple. Like priests, like they would wear like the white, like they wear like all black and they'd wear like the white collar,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone kind of just knows like, oh, this is a priest. And then the nuns, they would like wear like a whole nun outfit, and if you go in public, like you would know like, oh, this person's a nun.
Yeah.
And
But then I recently found out that Anglicans also dress
oh
that way.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't-
And Lutherans as well.
oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh
They call them the high church type because there's Lutheran churches that have the same type of like cathedral type vibe
yeah.
and vestments and stuff like that. But then there's Lutheran churches that are more like a evangelical Baptist type
Uh-huh.
situation. So yeah, no, that was also a huge like, oh, I guess not everybody with the white collar is a Catholic priest.
Yeah. But I think if in the general public, like when the public sees those kind of people going out and like doing positive things in the world, like through their actions, not really so much their words,
Mm-hmm.
like if you see like nuns and like priests like hosting like a food kitchen, for instance, where they're inviting homeless people to like come in and eat, like they don't have to preach the gospel in that
No.
during that time. They just have to like come and recognize a homeless person who like doesn't have anyone to talk to, like just have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
And not, you don't even have to bring up God. But like
Yeah.
because the homeless person is like in a church or like in like a holy area around holy people, and like they can see like, oh, this person's like a follower of God, maybe because they have like a vestment or like they have a cross.
Hmm.
Like that is a way that you can kind of like plant a seed, I would say. I would argue is
Yeah.
like you don't have to bring up Jesus, but like through your actions and through you like representing God,
Yeah.
like you're pretty much wearing like a Jesus jersey, I would say, or something like that. That person would be like, oh, like this person is really kind to me, and they're willing to like go out their way and help me, and also see that they're like a really devout follower of God.
Mm-hmm.
And so like maybe this is something that I should pursue,
Yeah.
you know? And then from there, like God can maybe like take it how he wants to, like through different channels, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like it's if you evangelize that way, I just feel like it's way more welcoming and not too much like imposing, where you're like really like trying to shove it down their throat.
Yeah, I say, yeah, no, I definitely say it's definitely more effective. It brings about a true conversion,
Yeah.
not just a conversion, just oh, I'll try it out, or whatever, It's definitely by example, because one of the things that I've been trying to figure out, like, since I'm taking this more seriously, like recently, this was actually super recent. Charlie Kirk got shot,
Mhm.
and when he got assassinated, like I got super sad. Like I didn't even follow Charlie Kirk all that much,
Yeah.
but when I saw like the video of him, like his neck exploding, I don't know. I felt profoundly sad, like really sad, and I couldn't explain why.
Yeah.
I just felt really sad, and I felt like there's like real evil in the world. Like it just the world just felt really evil. Um, so I was sad for a moment, and then later on that day, I haven't been to church in a while at that point. Like it's been a while since I've gone to church, and that day I told my wife like, hey, like, is it cool if we go to church after work? It was like a Wednesday. Like I just want to go and just sit there and just kind of be silent with my thoughts. 'Cause I haven't done that like ever.
Mhm.
I can't remember the last time I just pure silence and then just see what like pops in my head. And we got there, and as we went inside, I saw there was other people there, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of people that just want to sit in silence, I guess. 5 minutes later, I hear like music, and I see like the procession coming in. I'm like, oh snap! Like mass is happening right now. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. But then as mass was happening, and then we got to the point of doing communion, and then I had that I was confronted with that moment of like, should I go partake in communion or should I not? And that's the moment I realized that like, nah, I can't go. Like I haven't gone to confession in a long time. I obviously wasn't practicing. I did like what kind of relationship do I have with God? Like I have no relationship with God. What I'm gonna go to communion just because I was born into it. Like it felt fake and it felt like not right. So uh, after that, I obviously went to go confess, and then I realized that like this whole thing with confession and not being able to partake in the Eucharist unless you confess, unless you're in a state of grace, it kind of puts you in this perpetual um this thing that propels you to keep improving yourself. Like you're not here to just kind of sit on sit on things. Like
Mhm.
you actually have to practice the faith. You have to practice what the church teaches and what um what how a Catholic should be like, because the point of like when Jesus came, like everything changed. And if you believe that, and if you really want to take that seriously, then you have to educate yourself, and as you educate yourself, you have to put those teachings into practice. And as you put those teachings into practice, not only is it going to benefit you, because it'll benefit the people around you. I don't know. My point is that I completely agree with your diagnosis that to evangelize people, it's more through by example than it is to impose anything. The reason I brought that story up is because I'm going through this like reversion phase, right? But my wife isn't there yet. So like anyone who has this like struggle of like how do I grow in my faith with my spouse, I think the best way to go about it is just to by example, like let them see the growth in you. Like what does faith do to you? What does um partaking in all this stuff, like how does it affect you as a person in a positive way? And that's the main thing I'm trying to focus on, is like trying to actually be better. Yeah. But yeah, evangelizing through example. I agree.
Dude, I feel like there's a lot that I could have said to like what you said, but I'm just curious, like how long would you say that you were, I guess, like away from the church for? And then what what do you think kind of like got you out of it, maybe pushed you away from the church? And then and you just spoke about like Charlie Kirk, and that whole moment was the reason why you came back.
Hmm.
Um so were there any other like catalysts that kind of like brought you back?
That brought me back.
But then
That brought me back. That was the main catalyst. It's
yeah.
just acknowledging that there's evil in the world, and
Uh-huh.
I need to find like what counteracts evil. Like what is good? Like where is good in the world? Where can I actually find some light from this disgusting like feeling that I feel? Um, but yeah, I think that was the main catalyst of me reverting back is Charlie Kirk. Because before actually, yeah, because before he died, oh no, okay, now I have it two catalysts. So before he died, Charlie had this debate with Michael Knowles.
Uh-huh.
And you know Michael Knowles?
No.
He's also a Catholic, but he also has his own podcast show where he like talks about politics,
Yeah.
religion, stuff like that. And Charlie Kirk and him had this little debate between Catholicism and Protestantism. And Charlie kind of smoked him in that debate.
Mhm.
And I remember feeling like, dang, like does like do we Catholics, are we not do we not have our intellectual arguments like ready to go? Like how is it that a Protestant just like beat this guy in a debate? And then Charlie went on his show to talk about Mary and how he, as a Protestant, was trying to say that Protestants under venerate
Mhm.
Mary. Like to an extreme point to where they just talk a lot of shit
Yeah.
about the Mother of God. And it's like why do you have so much animosity towards Jesus' mom?
I think we as Protestant evangelicals under-venerate Mary. She was very important. She was a vessel for our Lord and Savior. I think that we as evangelicals and Protestants, we've overcorrected. We don't talk about Mary enough. We don't venerate her enough. Mary was clearly important to early Christians. There's something there. In fact, I believe one of the ways that we fix toxic feminism in America is Mary is the solution. Have more young ladies be pious, be reverent, to be full of faith, slow to anger, slow to words at times. Mary is a phenomenal example, and I think a counter to so much of the toxicity of feminism.
And then after that, I guess, is when he actually got shot, and that's when I was like, okay, well, I need to at the very least start learning, start consuming information. But the other catalyst for my reversion back is I mean, evil as a general thought, realizing that its existence is real, and it's everywhere, especially in like powerful places, like with the Epstein files and all that stuff. COVID also made me like think about, because so I've been thinking about this stuff, but I never really, jumped until Gerardo got shot. The other catalyst was seeing a bunch of kids getting blown up in Gaza, like seeing babies, like half of a leg here, a little hand over here, like a head just like bashed in. All that stuff, like it was so confusing to me. It was so confusing. And then getting into like trying to understand the issues that they're having in Israel, Palestine, like what that whole conflict is about, why we're involved in all these wars in the Middle East. Like as I got more information over that, then I realized like all this like stems from a lot of religious type perspectives. So all of that culminating together to finally get me to all right, we got to take this seriously, especially if we're all in agreement that what's happening out there is definitely not good. Like if that's not good, okay, then what is good? Where is the good here? But those were the catalysts for my reversion. The catalyst for my stepping away from the church was one, I didn't really feel like the people around me really believed. Like as a kid, I do remember like first communion to me was like a special thing. Like I felt like, oh wow, like I'm finally gonna be able to get to do this, like this thing that only the adults do, and like even because the other thing is I don't think I was really catechized well. But I did have this overall feeling of like these people just doing this because it's a social type gathering. Like I don't know if all these people like are taking it seriously. But as a kid, I felt like they did.
Yeah.
My aunt was a nun, and knowing that my aunt went into to become a nun, like that was a huge thing. I was like, wow, like people actually do this. And I went to go visit her one time, and I remember we all like were in a chapel just praying, and then I just started crying. And after I started praying out loud, trying to pray for my aunt and all this stuff. So as a kid, I did feel it. I remember being a altar server in mass and like trying, like I was looking at the fire and I was just like trying to see or feel Jesus or God, or like as the priest was saying the gospel, I was trying to, I don't know, get in the vibe, I guess. But the main reason I stopped believing, I stopped believing was not a whole lot of people around me really believed. And the other one, the huge one, the atomic bomb, if you will, was the priest pedophile stuff.
Yeah.
Like once that broke, like I was like, there's no reason for me to to be in this like at all. Like what
Right.
kind of organization can get to a place where we systematically like protect pedophiles and like enable them to continue doing their demonic shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like how do like what kind of organization could get to a place where that happens? And so when that happened, I was just like, yeah, I'm not. It's whatever now. Like I'm not going to convert. Like I'm not leaving. Like I'm not going to go to some Protestant church or anything or become Islam, like Muslim or whatever. Like I just didn't think anybody took God seriously. It's just okay. Like not even the cardinals are taking God seriously. Not even the Pope. Like it went all the way up to the Pope. Like if they don't take this seriously, then why do any of us do it? It seems fake.
Right.
Yeah, but that was the main reason I like stepped away, if you will.
Dude, I think back then the people who lived back then also had that same sentiment with I think they shared that sentiment as well with like Martin Luther, where like we cannot deny like the church has gone through phases of corruption.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest thing at the time was the church was selling like these things called like indulgences. I don't know if you're too familiar with those.
Yeah, like confessions or blessing.
I think an indulgence is like a specific kind of grace that that is granted. Like it basically grants you like it grants you something in like the afterlife where like for example like last week was like Divine Mercy Sunday, and so there were like a couple things that you could have done in order to receive like a plenary indulgence.
Mm-hmm.
And that just means like an omission of like the side effects of like your sin in like the afterlife, maybe like in purgatory.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if we commit sins, like we're gonna have to eventually like pay back those through some kind of like
We have to
purification
be
process.
purged from
Yeah.
our sins during purgatory. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the indulgences were like kind of like the cure for that. It was like
It's like reducing your time in purgatory.
exactly.
Hey, get out of jail free card.
Yeah, exactly. They called it like a get out. That's what I learned in school when they called it throughout school as well when I was learning like history.
Mm-hmm.
And the church was like selling these.
Yeah.
And they were selling these to fund like the art in the St. Peter's Basilica.
Yeah.
And so the obviously like you cannot deny that is a corruption.
Yeah.
But I would also argue that like the church and the Catholic Church is the largest religious organization like in the world. Like we have like 1 billion followers.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, there's more Muslims, but they're divided.
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, between like the Sunni and Shia.
Yeah.
But to say that you can have this many people and all these people be like perfect and without corruption
Mm-hmm.
is like a very bold statement, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But it also brings up like you brought up like a great point because like it's like how are we fundamentally as a church, like what is our corrective like using like terms from work, like what is our corrective action for like
Yeah.
these escapes that we have these people like
Yeah.
like can we train our priests and our religious orders more? Like they go through 6 years of training
Mm-hmm.
and 6 years of like living in the seminary
Mm-hmm.
to like make themselves ready to be like priests and nuns.
Yeah, because like these Protestant pastors, they get a lot of accreditation because they get PhDs for like biblical studies or whatever. But like priests,
Yeah.
they also get their own like they have to go through it like
Yeah.
intense education over like a 6-7 year period,
Yeah.
just to discern whether or not they want to actually become a priest.
Right.
Like after the 7 years, you could still decide not to become a priest. Or you like don't get accepted in because they obviously like filter out like whatever people they don't think would be good priests after the 7 years or 6 years or 5 years or whenever you decide to quit. But yeah, like there should be more filters, or at what point did the filters get removed?
Yeah, or like what other things could we add to our like like a training process or whatever to prevent like those pedophiles from being able to like do that. And then my other question was also like maybe from the time that they are ordained a priest, like they don't have those urges to do those horrible things to those kids. But is it like the circumstance that they're put in now?
Mm-hmm.
Because like now, like if you're like a parish priest, like your bishop appoints you to like a parish,
Mm-hmm.
and you report to him in the sense that like you run the parish and you lead the operations of that parish. And it's like are those the circumstances? Are you somehow regaining that kind of those urges in that circumstance? Or like what are the circumstances that are like reviving those urges, I would say? Because I wouldn't argue that. I mean, maybe, but like I'll yeah.
You want ice or no?
Yeah, I'll take some. But like I don't know, man. Like, do you think those kind of people, do you think that they are
Like you're
that
saying,
they
is it more?
always had those urges? Like those
Yeah. Is it more environment, or is it more nurture or environment that
yeah.
that puts them in those situations? I would say they were always like that, and I would also say that in this world of blackmail and oh, I would just tap it. Woo!
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah. Uh, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, in the world of blackmail, I would say that these priests at some point got put into like compromising situations. I would say some of them were, and then eventually it became this little club. Have you ever heard of the St. Gallen Mafia?
I have not.
Oh man. um, but
That's a lot, bro. I should not have gotten this much.
I mean, it's a sipper, you know.
Yeah.
It's a sipper. I like to put a little.
Sure, I'll take some. Man, that was a lot.
It'll be all right. Oh. So, what were we talking about? Priests? How did priests become pedophiles?
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't. So, over the 2,000-year history of the Catholic Church, do you think this is a recent development, or has the Catholic Church always had a problem with pedophiles?
Well, I don't think it's a recent thing. I think it's always been, but like, have you heard of case? Like, is it a worldwide thing or is it just a U.S. thing?
No, it's a worldwide thing.
Okay,
100%.
so for sure, I would say that like because it's happening worldwide, I would say that it's probably happened along the years.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like me, I don't think this was like pedophile thing has happened. Like at the very least, not to the extent to where it was, where it's it was systematic. It maybe to this point, it still kind of is a little systematic, and the hierarchy protects the pedophiles and moves them around and enables them to continue doing their shit. I think this is a recent development, and by recent I mean the last like 50 years. And I think this happened once we started allowing gay people become priests, because before there was a strict filter to not allow, not to say that like gay peoples are pedophiles. I'm just saying that like these rules that we had for people to come into the seminary, at some point these filters were lifted to allow really anyone to become a priest. Even like it doesn't matter, like yeah, you're supposed to swear to be celibate, but I would argue that nowadays I don't think a whole lot of priests are really um uh practicing celibacy.
You
Like
think so?
yeah, I think over the last like 50 years, I think that just kind of how I was talking about earlier, that a lot of the laity, a lot of like regular Catholics, like I would say majority of the people that are inside the church probably don't actually believe that Jesus Christ is right there during communion. Like he is literally right there. And I don't think it really, like a lot of people understand that.
Yeah.
And the same way that people just don't really have that faith, I think at some point priests started getting that same feeling of like, you know, if I do this, I'll just go to confession. Because I don't think that, like I said, over the history of the Catholic Church, I don't think this pedophile problem has really been an issue before the Summer of Shame.
I think that's so. I don't know. Like,
because also the Vatican, because like not just with gay people. I'm saying like also this thing with blackmail and the enemies of the church always trying to infiltrate into the Catholic Church to be able to put people in positions of power to maneuver and allow. Because I mean, just think how do bishops get promoted, or how do priests get promoted to bishops?
I
How do
think it's like
bishops become
chosen.
cardinals?
You're
Yeah.
chosen from
It's-
like above. I
Mhm.
think.
Yeah, so what sort of deals do you have to make with the hierarchy to be able to get promoted?
Right.
Sometimes sometimes it really just has to do with how much money does your diocese generate. How much money can you not fund raise? Because there's a lot of Catholic charities. There's a lot of these fundraisers that like Cardinal McCarrick, one of the prime proclamators of the pedophile issue back in the day here in the US. He was based out of DC and was super cozy with like all these big political figures and was able to raise all this money to send to the Vatican to be able to have a lot of power and a lot of decision making power to be able to maneuver in the way that he did. Because apart from the Pope, Cardinal McCarrick was like probably the most powerful cardinal of them all. Like if you wanted to become Pope, or like whoever was to become Pope was gonna have to go through Cardinal McCarrick, because he could leverage his like favors or whatever blackmail that he had on other cardinals to be able to get their vote during conclave. And I mean, it's evident that he also had power, because he's the one he was the architect that got that deal done with China and the Catholic Church in China. So now, because there was an underground church in China,
Right.
and Cardinal Zen was the leader of that movement at that time, and obviously he was teaching real Catholicism, not the state-sponsored, state-approved type Catholicism. And when McCarrick started to go to China to start negotiating how, like, we're going to go about ordaining bishops there, and like what the laity there is going to do, like, he made the deal to where, all right, China, just give us a bunch of money, man, and you guys can do whatever you want with the Catholic Church out here. And so he made that deal, but Pope Benedict at the time, he was like, no, no, sir. Like, that is not about to happen. So at some point, McCarrick and Benedict got like, because Benedict was a traditionalist. He was um, what was his name before Benedict? It was Ratzinger, Joseph Ratzinger.
Yeah.
Like he was one of these huge conservative, like traditionalist type cardinals that ascended into becoming the Pope after John Paul II. And he got into this conflict with McCarrick over this China deal, as I recall. I could be wrong. Obviously, I don't study all this stuff, but from the knowledge that I've been able to gather so far, so obviously that kind of soured that relationship. And then Archbishop Vigano, who had a high position in the Vatican at the time while Benedict was Pope, got demoted to become a nuncio to the United States, and that means you know how the State Department here, we all have ambassadors in all different countries.
Yeah.
U.S. ambassadors in Kuwait and all this other place. Well, the Vatican also has ambassadors in all these countries through bishops. And in this case, Bishop Vigano was the ambassador to the United States. And at the time, it looked like a demotion, but really it was an assignment from Benedict to Vigano to go to the U.S. and figure out, like, get some hard evidence against McCarrick. Because this guy's, like, messing some stuff up. And not only did he get hard evidence against McCarrick, he got hard evidence against the Vatican Bank and some, like, shady shit that was going on in the Vatican Bank. And the evidence that he got against McCarrick was that he himself is a pedophile and also covered up and enabled a whole lot of pedophilia all over the world. And that's when the Summer of Shame happened.
Can you go into where's McCarrick now?
He died.
And all the
He's dead.
he's dead.
He's dead. But his punishment, like he was supposed to go on trial at the Vatican, but
Yeah.
his punishment, he never spent a day in jail. He just got laicized, which means that he just got like his holy orders got revoked. So he's no longer a cardinal, bishop, or priest. He got all those faculties removed. But that was his main.
That was like religious punishment, but there was no political punishment.
Mm-hmm. There was no political punishment. But the thing is that, like, when Archbishop Vigano like ended up doing this, exposing him, he kind of like let Benedict know that, like, hey, if we expose him, like, he's gonna come after you, and he did. Once they exposed McCarrick, he used all of his political will and leverage over all these other cardinals to be able to get Benedict to resign.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look at the popes over the whole history of the Catholic Church, how many popes have resigned?
Not a lot.
None.
Right. Really?
Ever. No popes have ever resigned. All popes have been popes until they died.
Mm-hmm.
And after like the whole exposure, they came after Benedict, and he said he's resigned because, you know, oh, I'm old. I don't think I could do the job anymore. But that's not the reason he resigned.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy that either.
Mm-hmm. And then once Benedict resigned, they elected Francis Bergoglio from Argentina. And the conclave before that, when Benedict was elected, McCarrick and his posse, they were trying to get Bergoglio elected to become Pope Francis, but he lost by 1 vote, and Benedict got elected.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the complete opposite of Francis got elected, and he became Pope, and then all this stuff came out. Like, if it wasn't, so Benedict gets a lot of flack for being Pope when the Summer of Shame happened, but if it wasn't for him, none of this would have really been exposed.
Yeah.
And then, so once he resigned, they elected Francis, and then once Francis got in, he went to town on all these like traditionalist or conservative type people, like Archbishop Vigano,
mm-hmm.
that guy that came to the U.S. to expose everything. He got excommunicated by Pope Francis.
Really?
Yeah, and now he's out in hiding. Like, he is in hiding.
That's crazy.
Because he obviously made a whole lot of enemies all over the world, powerful enemies,
mm-hmm.
for breaking open this whole pedophile ring that was going on. That might still be going on. Oh, we know.
So you would say that you're more like for like the traditional Catholics, like, and like your view is like more, because like I know you like.
I don't really have a view. I just know that the main thing I did not like about what happened was this whole pedophile stuff.
Yeah.
And I just want to get to the root cause of what caused it. And once I understand, like, or have some kind of idea of what caused it, then I can start to discern like what it is that is the truth, you know, the capital T truth.
Mm-hmm.
And all, like, everything is pointing back to Vatican II and how that all got organized and what the result of it was. How it was that the Catholic Church, this divine institution, decided to be more worldly, to be more of this world. Mm-hmm. And right now, like, that's just kind of where I'm at. Like, obviously I'm not stationary there. I'm not like I'm like not some like rat trad or whatever. Like, to me, it seems like this would not have happened pre-Vatican II.
Yeah. You would say like Vatican II, where the church became less traditional and more modern, mm-hmm. was like a huge catalyst for these kind of things to come out. So my concern and my question is like so the checks and balances that we have right now, like every seminarian, they're led by like a spiritual director, and that spiritual director is supposed to have like an a close, intimate relationship with like the seminarian who's going through the process.
Mm-hmm.
And so at what point, like, so like, are we not bringing up these pedophilia tendencies that we have as a seminarian to our spiritual director, or is our spiritual director acknowledging these tendencies that these seminarians have, and still allowing them to become ordained, even with these tendencies that they know are could be dangerous for them when they do become when they do hold like a position of power. That would be my first question. And then my second thing that I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on as well is like the whole seal of confession deal. If these priests are committing these horrific acts, and like, let's give them the benefit of the doubt, like they commit these acts and then they feel like internal like contrition, and they're like, oh, I really feel bad for what I did, and I want to ask for God's mercy, and they go to their fellow priests for confession, and they confess these things, and then you go through this cycle of like the priest keeps doing this and then going back to, you know, their friend as a priest and doing the confession with them. It's like at what point, if you're that second priest hearing these confessions, are you being like, hey, like, guys, like you're raising your hand and you be like, hey guys, like something really scandalous is gonna happen, and I think if this gets out to the parish, like we're gonna lose a lot of followers, like we're gonna lose a lot of people, and it could be a whole dangerous thing for the entire like body of the church, the body of Christ, like the entire church.
Mm-hmm.
Like at what point do you break your seal of confession and just like come out? And I know that the answer that they're supposed to say is like never. Like even if the police authorities come and ask you like, hey, did this person who came to your confession booth like confess a murder, you're not supposed to disclose that information to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to think like do we need to establish like some kind of like exception to that rule? Maybe like only in the cases of like huge scandal, or like how can we even like, is that an avenue that we can even explore for like preventing this to happen? Because like what we're trying to do, right, is we're trying to just prevent another huge scandal from coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, do we just like let the behavior continue, or like do we break, or do we like go against ourselves and like break that seal of confession?
Now you're saying what
What should
we
we
as
do?
a laity can do to bring our church back to health?
Oh, I'm saying like
What your priest do?
what should our church leaders decide to do?
Oh.
Like if this is like a, like, is this something that we can do, basically? Like our church leaders, like can they break this seal of confession and come out and say like, hey, like he over there is like going through this huge scandal, like we need to do something about it.
Yeah. I don't think it's through breaking the seal of confession. Like, I think that's a non-starter.
Mhm.
Like, just to begin, like that's a non. It's like no. But I think there's other avenues of going about it. To be able to be able to remove that rot from within the hierarchy. But I think it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of new seminarians and a new generation within the seminary to be able to find the good guys within the hierarchy and try to maneuver their way into positions of power to be able to affect the change that they want to see. Because right now I think we're still pretty infested with a lot of the disease inside, because there's a lot of stuff that we're focusing on that, I mean, really we shouldn't really be focusing on. Like, really we should be focusing like on the faith, on like on the laity actually understanding what communion is, what the Eucharist is, being to educate and to talk about this like publicly. Because right now the biggest thing that the Vatican is advocating for is like environmental uh, like the environment type stuff and immigration.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I feel like those two issues, like, probably aren't the most pertinent issues to be focusing on right now, especially with the sick, like, diseased church right now. I
Right.
think we should be looking in as opposed to looking out right now.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. So, I mean, so your solution would to this would basically come from electing and having like basically replacing the existing cardinals, whether that be through time or through like different appointments,
Mm-hmm.
with a new generation of younger, fresh out of like I wouldn't say fresh, but like younger priests and bishops that can hopefully like not have that mindset anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But like my question would still be like I think we can replace people, sure, but like how are we sure that these people are not like that we're replacing with are like good people, you know? Like what is that check to ensure that if I'm appointing a cardinal, he's not going to be a pedophile. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like is that going to come through like a new kind of like filter that we have in our trainings? Because like you have to think like from like a higher level. Like I would think if you make the path to become a priest more rigorous, you're gonna have less priests for sure.
I think it
And I
would
think
actually
we're struggling a lot. You think so? If we had a more rigorous process, that we'd have more priests.
Yeah, I think if like just the church was more rigorous and more like had more
Yeah.
conviction over its beliefs, that we'd have more church attendance and more vocations within the priesthood and nuns.
Mhm.
Because so the reason I think that it's going to take a new generation and it's going to take time is because like it's just like every action has a reaction, right? So if it's just like me and you, like just the way that we reacted to finding out there's a bunch of pedophiles, like this new like the same feeling that I have, like if I was going through these like feeling like this reversion that I'm going through right now and I wasn't married, I think I would seriously be looking into the priesthood just because I have this feeling of like there is this like my church is sick and I want to be a part of it, the healing.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm alone in that. And I think there's a lot of new priests, new seminarians that I've seen that are very vocal about what their beliefs are. Like if you were to poll all the new priests that are becoming priests right now, I would say that a lot more than there have been in the last 50 years, they're all very much traditionalists.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Fraternity of St. Peter, I think like the FSSP, the S, what's it called? All these little societies that are within the church that still have the right to do the traditional liturgy, to have these traditional teachings. Like a lot of them are being want to join that fraternity as opposed to, let's say, the Jesuits. Do you know anything about the Jesuits?
Dude, I learned a lot. They a lot of this in the past, but I forgot. But I know they're Catholic, right?
Yeah. They're
They're
Catholic.
just
They
from
used to
like
be
some
SEAL Team 6 of Catholicism, dude. Like
yeah.
they would go into the jungle and all these places to try to evangelize. Like they were a huge force for good. Like they garnered a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
They got stopped at some point, and then like their rebirth, like they just like. Have you heard of this cardinal named Chucho Fernandez?
No, I'm not.
He's like in charge of the dicastery of faith, I think. By that means, I mean that he's in charge of the new doctrine, of the new teaching that comes out of the Vatican. And he's one of these guys that, like, I mean, you just, let me look up a picture of him. You're going to look at him and then,
Oh, is it the deposit of faith? Is it
no.
different?
No, that's like the original, like, this is the type of stuff, this comes from Jesus. This
Yeah.
is for the original that you can't manipulate. That's a bishop. Have you heard of Bishop Strickland?
No.
You would love Bishop Strickland. He also got he got removed from his diocese because he was also criticizing Francis
Yeah.
and all the stuff that was going on.
Heard this a lot, where it's like they say like a Protestant who like studies church history and who like really tries to dive even deeper and deeper into their faith, they eventually become Catholic.
Yeah,
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, that's there's a quote from Saint John Newman,
Mhm.
who was a cardinal, who became a cardinal, who was a Protestant that became Catholic.
Yeah.
That to become interested in history is to become Catholic.
Yeah. Yeah, and like who else? Candace Owens.
Candace Owens, yeah.
She just became Catholic too.
Yeah. Candace Owens, who else big became Catholic? I know there was some other like guy that was huge that just became Catholic. I've been watching a lot of these conversion stories by a lot of these Protestant pastors.
Mm-hmm.
And those are really interesting. Like there's this guy named John Bergsma,
Mm-hmm.
who was a Calvinist.
Yeah.
And I guess in Calvinism, they have like this belief that everything is predetermined.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what you do. Like if you're going to hell, if you're predetermined to go to hell, you're going to hell, buddy. Like it sucks to suck, man. But
Right.
hopefully,
So what's the point of life then?
hopefully you're predetermined to go to heaven. So yeah, I don't know. But he was the one who made me who talked about like, because he also had started questioning like, why are we so divided between Protestants? Like, what I bet you if I went to go talk to this Baptist Pastor Bob or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I could, maybe we could have a little discussion and try to get some agreement on some stuff. And so something on like baptism. Is baptism salvific? And he would, John would come up with a verse, and then Pastor Bob would come up with a verse, and then he'd come up with a different verse in the Bible, and then he would come up with a different verse in the Bible, and then they would just keep going. Verses is the term he coined.
Mm-hmm.
Is that this is the only way? This is like the dead end of Protestantism: is verses, verses, verses. And eventually he decided to get a doctorate in biblical studies, but the school he ended up going to was Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame is a Catholic
Right.
university, but he saw it as a sweet deal because he's like, they have a Protestant biblical studies, so I get to really dig deep into the Protestantism while getting paid by the Catholics.
Uh-huh.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And so while he was doing his studies there, he met this guy named Michael, and Michael was obviously very well educated because at the time John saw Catholics as like, no one really knows their faith, really. No one really knows why they're Catholic. They don't know the Bible. That's the main thing that they have against the Catholics. Is, the Catholics don't know the Bible. Well, this guy did. Michael knew his Bible very well. And so he started to do this like verses thing with Michael, and Michael just had a verse for everything, dude.
Yeah.
And then eventually they came to the point where they started talking about Mary, because Mary's like obviously a huge hang up for a lot of Protestants. And like, are you aware of any like scripture that kind of points to Mary?
Yeah. I'm not on the top of my head, but like, point to Mary in what sense?
Okay. And a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and her head a crown of 12 stars. And being with child, she cried, traveling in birth, and was in pain to be delivered. And there was another sign in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, which is supposed to be Satan. I guess there's this battle between Mary and Satan. That whole thing. But I did not know that. I mean, basically, like when I first read that, I thought of the Virgin of Guadalupe.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, what?
Dude, yeah, I think we as Catholics, we do place we definitely revere Mary like much more than
Protestants.
religions. And I think the point that they struggle with the most is like we believe that she was like without sin
Mm-hmm.
her entire life.
Yeah.
And we
She was sinless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Immaculate conception.
Yeah, exactly. Like we believe that like from the moment that she was born, first of all, she was born without original sin, and then we believe that like throughout her entire life, like she was like destined by God, um, and like reserved and protected from sin by God, out because like God's like outside of space and time, so he's like protecting Mary, and then I mean that's just like the church, the teaching that comes from the church, but I'm not sure if all of this is biblically rooted,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that the Protestants struggle with these kind of like deeper interpretations because they're they're gonna argue like, oh, where is this like biblically quoted, and like where can I find that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Protestant, I mean, for Mary is a huge, huge thing that Protestants don't have and that are very averse to. But the other thing, do you think Protestants believe in miracles?
Yeah, I think they do. I don't know how they would explain miracles though,
Yeah.
because like if you reject the true presence of God in the Eucharist, then how do you explain
Yeah.
all those Eucharistic miracles that are happening?
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like it's like they probably try they would probably try to like reject miracles and maybe come up with like a scientific or like a natural way that those miracles were produced.
Mm-hmm.
Just insofar as so that they can like deny the real presence. Yeah, and just so far as like they're able to deny the real presence, and then because of that, not believe in all the other things that we Catholics believe in. Because I feel like, dude, if you believe in the real presence, like you can disagree with a lot of things, but if you believe in the real presence, like no other church has that. Like they don't believe in the true presence of God in the Eucharist.
What about Orthodox?
Oh yeah. Besides them, like none none of the other Protestant churches actually believe in the true presence. Like their communion is just like it's just like a symbol. But I would say like, man, like if I'm Protestant and I see a miracle, it's like that's like the one of the most convincing things for me to become Catholic. Or the Eucharist?
Yeah.
About the Eucharist. What were we
We started talking about miracles and how Protestants believe in miracles.
Oh yeah. Um yeah, what are your thoughts about that? So I said that like they like their response to like a Eucharist, I mean, I wouldn't know. Like I would say their response to a miracle would be like rejection or like denial. And like they're rejecting or they're denying the Eucharist. And only because I think that like if like the Eucharist is something that's like it's like if you believe it that it's actually true, then there's no reason why you wouldn't like it wouldn't like it would draw you closer to like you the Eucharist is something that would draw you closer to like being Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you truly like believe that the Eucharist was true, then if you're like a practicing Christian, why would you want to like why is that something that you would walk away from, you know?
Yeah.
Because like no other besides like the Eastern Orthodox, but like no other church.
Well, can you talk about why, beside the Eastern Orthodox, like why do they have a valid Eucharist?
I I think because so they broke off in like the 300s, and they broke off, I think mainly because they did not agree. They didn't agree with like the Pope and his jurisdiction. I think they and like I'm not 100% sure, but like I think that they have more like local bishops and local like bishops that run run their church, and it's more like a scattered and like divided religious hierarchy. But they don't. They I believe that they accept everything that was like they accept a lot of the doctrines that were established in the early church.
I think the main thing is the infallibility of the Pope and the filioque.
What do you mean?
Um,
Sure, what that is?
The filioque is Latin for proceeding from the Father and Son in the
In
creed.
Nicene Creed?
Yeah. So the main distinction that they have is that the Holy Spirit doesn't precede the Son. He precedes the Father, but not the Son. And we as Catholics believe that he precedes the Father and the Son, since Jesus sent the Holy Spirit to the apostles on Pentecost.
Yeah. Interesting. So they would break off for that. But I think all the others, like the sacraments, they all believe in. They follow.
Yeah, and I think the main reason why they're unique is because they still have apostolic succession.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're the only ones. They might be able to claim more apostolic succession than the Catholic Church ever since we started messing around after Vatican II.
You think so?
Yeah,
because our succession is tied to Peter. But then what would theirs be tied to?
Well, it's tied to Peter and the other 11 apostles.
Yeah.
Yeah. But theirs is also tied to the original 11 apostles as well, because they were all the same. We were all the same for the first 300 years. Right. I think it was actually 600 years. I think the schism happened in 600.
We could look that up.
Yeah.
Just to know.
When was the Christian schism?
The Great Schism happened in 1054. That's when the Roman Catholic Church
so a lot
and
later.
the Eastern Orthodox Church.
We split Eastern Orthodox, Roman Catholic.
Wait, can you ask how they have like
I'm gonna turn it on and then you ask it, okay?
Okay. Please explain the Eastern Orthodox apostolic succession? This isn't your work.
Eastern Orthodox apostolic succession is an unbroken line of bishops stretching
I saw
back to the
this. I was like,
apostles.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
exactly. People.
It's still
Oh. Nah, my bad. Okay, so did it actually answer your first question?
Oh, it did.
Oh, no. Hey, can you please explain how Eastern Orthodox has apostolic succession? Shit. Sorry, can you please explain how Eastern Orthodox has apostolic succession?
It's through an unbroken chain of bishops. The apostles ordained the first bishops by laying on hands. Those bishops ordained the next, and so on, all the way to today. In the Eastern Orthodox view, it's not just the physical line. You also need to keep the exact same.
Yeah, so it's from the original 12.
So yeah, we both have apostolic succession. But the thing is, I guess a major difference between the Great Schism and what was it, 1054? So we had 1,000 years of Catholicism.
That was the same.
And it wasn't until 1054 that we had the Great Schism or whatever. But I think that the reason this was so huge was because the people that split apart both had apostolic succession.
Right.
And the thing with Martin Luther is that during the Reformation, there wasn't any Catholic bishops or cardinals that
their whole thing was like they reject the apostolic succession as a whole. They don't view that as like a they didn't view any kind of authority. Like their whole thing was questioning like why do we have to why is our journey to God through like a structure and like a church? Like why can't it just be like a direct like you know, like they like what the whole thing was like why do we have to do like there are other big thing they had was like because we believe like Catholics believe like salvation is through faith and works, and when we say like works, I think it kind of triggers some of them to think that like we're working our way into heaven, but like we're not
Well,
Actually,
it's
like,
the faith. I mean, no, it's grace through faith
yes.
by works from the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Something along those lines. But like,
yeah.
for sure, like grace through faith,
Hmm.
like grace through faith and works. Like we genuinely believe in the the Holy Spirit's presence in the sacraments,
Hmm.
as well as like those are like our kind of like works that we're referring to, and and I just think that like the Protestants believe, and they're more triggered by when they hear works is they're thinking that like, oh, like it's the works that we're doing that is granting our spot in heaven, like the rosaries that we pray, and like the number of times that we do this or the number of times that we do that, and those are the kind of things that we're trying to work our way into heaven for. But it's like that's not the reality at all, you know.
Hmm.
Like we're more referring to like every like any relationship, dude, requires constant work and constant like effort to uphold. Like I think their view of like, you know, once saved always saved kind of like rejects this notion that like a relationship is something that's like constant. Like if you're in a relationship with, like with your wife, for example, like every day you wake up and you constantly choose to be with her. Like that's a conscious decision that you make. That's kind of like how we view our relationship with God. It's like it's a constant thing, and like if it's something that like we start to reject, or like we start to like yeah, like we just something that like we reject, then that's when we feel like that we can lose our salvation.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, just rejecting all of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, going back to the whole, do they believe in miracles? I mean, obviously, the reason I asked that question is if they don't believe in miracles, then they definitely don't believe in apparitions.
Hmm.
So, like all these Marian apparitions that have happened, like which ones are you aware of?
Can you can you explain more about the apparitions like we were referring to?
Like Our Lady of Guadalupe
Yeah.
or Our Lady of Fatima.
Right.
Like these physical apparitions that happen to in front of people, in front of witnesses,
Yeah.
that have been corroborated by the Catholic Church to be like real. This actually happened.
Hmm.
That's what I mean by apparition.
So your question with that was like how, like, what's your question behind that?
Like so as Catholics we believe that those are
Right.
real,
Yeah.
but Protestants are like, no, that's some propaganda from the hierarchy of the Catholic Church to keep
Yeah.
y'all stupid or something.
Yeah, I think that maybe they're thinking like somebody planted something to like have this happen, because like I remember one of the apparitions was like she had like a red tear. Like there was like a statue of Mary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember which one it was. Maybe it was the Fatima one,
Mm-hmm.
but there was one where she had tears, right? Like she had physical tears. Maybe we could look this up as well. But
Mm-hmm.
like there was one where she had like physical tears, and like there there's all these different things that happen that tells me that like God didn't just happen.
Oh, that there was a statue of Mary where she started
Yeah, like
crying, but
red
it was
tears.
red tears. I think this is it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you look
Man.
up where this was again?
Mary to Weep Tears of Blood, 1980, Pavia, Italy, weeping statue. Mariology of the Catholic Church. So is this.
Wait, so do you remember? I don't remember the details of the Our Lady of Fatima,
Mm-hmm.
but what happened in that one?
Could you explain the apparition of Our Lady of Fatima real quick?
Sure. In 1917, in Fatima, Portugal, 3 shepherd kids, Lucia, Francisco, and Jacinta, said the Virgin Mary appeared to them 6 times between May and October. She gave them 3 secrets, asked for daily prayer and sacrifices for world peace, and promised a miracle. On October 13th, about 70,000 people saw the sun dance, spin, and plunge toward Earth. The miracle of the sun. Catholics see it as proof the apparitions were real.
Yeah, see, I didn't know about the miracle of the sun.
Could I ask you something?
Yeah.
Was there an apparition related to a statue of Mary bleeding tears?
Yeah, the most famous one is Our Lady of Akita in Japan. In 1973, a wooden statue in a convent started weeping tears 101 times, sweating, and even bleeding from its hand. A nun there, Sister Agnes, heard messages from Mary warning about church troubles, prayer, and penance. The local bishop approved it after investigation, and it was even caught on Japanese TV. Here's what the statue looks like. A lot of other weeping or bloody tear statues pop up, but most turn out fake, like a recent Italian one the Vatican just ruled against. Akita's still the big approved case.
It's kind of dope that she did that in Japan.
Yeah, Japan of all places.
Yeah. Let's see if there's like a video.
Dude, well, I was trying to go somewhere with this. So it's like I think we talked about this at church like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it was last week, where we mentioned like Thomas.
Thomas Aquinas?
No, like Thomas the Apostle, like
Doubting Thomas?
yeah, and it's like we still like we know that God left, like Jesus left the earth like 2,000 years ago. Obviously, like if you and I or like anyone was like with Jesus during that time, like it'd be so easy to like if we were as close to Jesus as like the apostles, it'd be so easy for us to like follow him and believe in him. But Jesus, as you know, Jesus says like, blessed are those who like do not see but like do
To
believe.
believe, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like we start seeing that like the divine world isn't quiet to our realities still, and the divine world is like always giving us constant signs and constant like evidences that like the existence of the divine world is there.
Mm-hmm.
We see this a lot through like the miracles and like these apparitions and like all these different things, and it's like I can't help but wonder from like God's perspective. God, like God's probably like I don't know. This is just like maybe I'm just joking, but like God's probably like sending like these miracles down, like oh like this area is like not weak in faith, so like let me send down a miracle or something. But it's like from God's perspective, God's probably thinking like what more can I do for them to like truly believe, you know, like I think modern day like we've gotten so secular that like everyone nowadays is like, oh, like Thomas, like I'm won't believe it till I see it, kind of thing, you know. And it's like a lot of people nowadays I would categorize in like the same the person of Thomas. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's like they don't see it, so they're not gonna believe it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like, can you really fault Thomas for like his like Thomas is just an example, but like you know all these people nowadays like they're not gonna believe anything until they physically see it, but like God,
Or until the veil gets lifted.
right?
Yeah.
But then God wouldn't be like a loving God if he revealed himself to everyone, you know? Because then he's like forcing himself upon people rather than like allowing them the opportunity to choose him out of free will. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that and then that's a whole conundrum, the whole free will thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but these, especially these Mary apparitions, they really, because they say Mary prays for us the most out of everybody, and like she is the one who's putting in the work to try to convert all these people, and I think, I actually saw an interview of Father. His name is Father Chad Ripperker. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
Oh, you would love, dude. I'm gonna send you a podcast he just did. That it was one of the best podcasts I've ever heard in my life. But he mentioned that the conversion of Muslims
Yeah.
is gonna happen through Mary.
Oh, really?
Because did you know that between the Talmud and the Quran, the Talmud being the Jewish, um, the Jewish holy book, and the Quran being the Muslim holy book,
Mm-hmm.
like Jewish people don't believe in Jesus' divinity like at all.
Right.
They kind of see him as this troublemaker.
Yeah.
And he rightfully so got crucified.
Mhm.
And the Muslims, they actually do recognize Jesus as being a perfect person
Right.
and being a prophet.
Yeah.
But not only that, they view Mary like in this very high regard. Like if you go to all these Muslim countries or like even Iran, they have a lot of Marian statues.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Chad Ripperger, Father Chad Ripperger believes that Mary is going to be like the main reason like a bunch of the Muslims convert.
And they'll be Catholic, not Protestant.
Yeah, they'll be Catholic. Yeah, yeah, they'll be Catholic. But yeah, dude, it's kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did I also say something where I completely forgot?
What's cool is that like the silences when we just have a like if you're thinking about something and you're trying to articulate some kind of idea, if you just like stay silent and actually think about what you're saying, get your words, and then finally say it, like those pauses are so easy to remove.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're automatically removed, honestly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I could just remove any pause for like a second and it just automatically does it. So it makes us sound a lot smarter than what we are sometimes. Yeah. But yeah. But what were you thinking? What were you trying to?
Oh my gosh, I can't remember.
Or what other? Because really, this whole thing started. We started talking because of when you were 15. You started to really question all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you started questioning whether or not you would actually be Catholic if you weren't indoctrinated into it as a child.
Right.
And you discerned that you would be. And the reason that you would be is because.
Like like I truly believed in the true presence of the Eucharist.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, it wasn't like I was questioning whether or not I believed in Jesus. It was like more so like whether or not I wanted to be Catholic,
Mm-hmm.
of all things, because like my friends would bring up good points like, oh, like why would you have to go to confession? Like why would you have to see a priest to go to confession? Like why can't you just confess your sins on your own time and then like remove that whole need of coming to see someone for confession? But I think the whole process of contrition and the whole idea of like humbling yourself and recognizing that you require mercy is more like the action of like physically seeing someone, physically, first of all, like examining your conscience and waiting in line to come see someone. And like I think even like the effort of like looking up like when is the confession time, or like booking an appointment. Like I don't think confession should be something that's like super easy. It shouldn't be something that's like super accessible. It also shouldn't be something that like someone does every day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that if someone did confession every day, I think that would take away the value of confession.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you make it so that confession is only available once a week, and other than that, like booking by appointment, and you make it so that you have to come physically see someone scheduled in person, and you have to wait in line in order to see this person, like it makes the act of like going to confession, and it kind of adds value to like,
It adds friction.
yeah, it adds friction to the process.
Mm-hmm.
Because then not everyone's going to do it, and then people would go years and years without actually going. But for the ones that actually do go, and the ones that actually like cleanse themselves, like it makes the experience much more, not only like you're spiritually cleansed, but like it like mentally as well. You're like, oh man, like I actually like willed myself to do this. Like
Mm-hmm.
I forced myself to like go, and then I got it done. You know what I mean? As opposed to like, I could just wake up, or like I could just, before I go to sleep every night, just like confess my sins to God and ask God for forgiveness. And I mean, I'm sure he'll give me his forgiveness in some way, but I mean, I could just have that as like a daily routine.
Mm-hmm.
And then that just takes away the value of like that to me like takes away the value of confession. And I think it's like over scrupulous, in a sense that like we are like reducing the the infinity of like God's mercy to like something that's like super mundane. And it's also like, I've also heard this where it's like, if like the reason why like you wouldn't go to confession every day is because like let's say for instance like you commit a sin, and then the next day you go back and you commit another sin, but like next day you go back, like I would assume that like God's mercy would be able to cover like a certain period of time, as opposed to like someone having to come back every day. Like, and I think of like if I was like a priest and I saw someone that continuously like came back to confession every day, I'd be like, hey man, like I want you to just trust in God's mercy, and like trust that like let let God do the work in you, and like don't come every day, and just be, because like then that person's probably just like very fearful of like, I guess like the consequences of sin and losing their salvation and all that. And so, dude, I kind of just ramble. I'm getting
No,
I'm getting
no.
a little lost, but I think I brought
Lost
up
in the
a
sauce.
yeah.
No, confession is super. I think it's one of the most powerful things, apart from the Eucharist, that Catholicism has. But the like what you're getting at is true repentance. It's not like faith alone. Once saved, always saved. You could just say like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Jesus." Like
Mm-hmm.
in the same way, we can't just go, "Hey, I'm sorry, Father," like for I have sinned again. Um, like it's also super uncomfortable if you go to the same priest every time and
Yeah.
confess the same stuff. Like I think that's why like spiritual directors are kind of um important. I still don't have one, but I hope that eventually I'll be able to I mean I think we could help each other, I think in that way. Um answer each other's questions, have the same questions that we could both get answers to. Which is what was really exciting about like learning that you're Catholic, because I don't know a whole lot of Catholics that actually take this seriously.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
agree, dude. For sure.
yeah, and even like going to church, like it, because to me it's not supposed to be a social like type of event. Um, but like it's hard for me to really just, hey, hi, my name is Gerardo. Like I'm new here. I'm trying to figure this stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like you take it seriously. Like, what can you teach me stuff?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like like I'm not that type of guy. But I think we should be at some point. Like really after church today,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go up to the priest and ask him to come on the podcast. I chickened out though. I was like, ah, no, he's really old. He's definitely not going to come up the stairs. Yeah. If I do, I'll probably go to him. Yeah, because I want to pick his mind on Vatican II. Actually, yeah, no, you like I want to pick your mind about Vatican II because
Dude, so you said some things that I wanted to touch on before,
yeah,
but I'll talk about Vatican II too. But like,
yeah,
I just think that dude, like I saw something from like Cardinal Sarah that
Sawa.
so yeah, and he was saying like exactly like kind of like along the lines of like what the priest was saying today in the homily, but he was saying it in like a very direct way. He was like you don't come to mass to like pat each other on the back for like, oh, you sung really well, like, oh, you read really well today, like you really projected, like you don't come to mass to like pat each other on the back for like these kind of things,
Yeah,
and you don't come to mass to like applaud each other, and like you don't come to mass to like um celebrate ourselves, like you come to mass to adore God.
yeah.
And it's like one thing I've noticed about like Catholic or like Protestant kind of people is that, dude, yeah, is that they would like church hop a lot. Like,
Protestant people.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Or like they would like they would go to this church this week and then this church next week,
Mm-hmm.
and then really just like hop around.
Yeah,
But I don't think that behavior is as prevalent in Catholic churches. And reason why I think so, and I'm just guessing, but like one thing I could think about is like the the Protestants are chasing more so like the experience that they get from the service.
Mm-hmm.
Like when if you talk to some of them about like how Sunday, like ask them like, hey, how's Sunday, or like how was church or whatever, they'll be like, oh, like the sermon was really good today, and I really like the music, and they really talk about like what they got from mass,
Mm-hmm.
or like from service. God, I can't call it mass, but the Catholic view in all of this has always been like, dude, like I don't come to mass to get something. I come to mass like to get communion. Like, yes,
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the things that I get from mass, but I don't come to mass to be applauded because I sung well, or like I don't come to mass to be like fulfilled from the homily.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, you can just say nothing for the homily and it'd still be a valid mass.
Mm-hmm.
Like I come to mass to participate in the sacrifice
Mm-hmm.
at the altar, and that's something that happens at every mass. And I come to participate in the Eucharistic prayer, to receive the communion, and so Cardinal Sarah, he had like an acronym. He said, you don't come to mass to like sing, you don't come to mass to dance, you don't come to mass to applaud each other, like you come to mass to adore God. And his acronym was like ACTS. It was like A was like adoration, C was like contrition, T was like man, I don't remember what T was, but S was like supplication or like penance. He was like, yeah, these are the kind of the reasons why you come to mass. And I think that because each and every mass every Sunday across the world is like the same, like homogenous, like we read the same readings. The structure of the mass is like fundamentally the same. Like we say, it's like the liturgy of the word,
Mm-hmm.
and then the homily, and then the liturgy of the Eucharist, where we're literally praying the same liturgical prayer. I think because of that that homogenous structure, like Catholics don't feel the need to kind of church hop
Mm-hmm.
because they're getting the same thing everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And they're able to like participate in the same worship everywhere. So it's like, why would you need to church hop in that way? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's like, and this is also something that I kind of wanted to touch on with you as well. It's like how the church, and I think we were getting to this too about like Vatican II, and like how the church should operate in terms of like finding a balance between being really traditional and like coming back to its roots, and on the other end like modernizing, like following this Vatican II kind of movement, and being more welcoming to like more other people, in the sense that like when people go to mass nowadays, like if I sent one person to like a TLM, and I sent that person to like a regular mass, I guarantee you that they would feel something more from like going to a regular mass, because like one, they can understand it, et cetera, et cetera. So what I'm trying to get from you is like, what is your thought on like that balance? Like if we go like where should the church be on that spectrum?
Mm-hmm.
Because like from our, like me and you, like we both understand that like we don't go to mass for like a feeling. Like we go to mass to participate in the sacrifice at the altar. But like a lot of other
Not to
people, like,
participate, but to witness.
yeah. But like all the other people, they see mass as like, oh, what do I get from this? Oh, I didn't get anything from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then they would prefer maybe going to like a Protestant service where, you know, the music is like, they're lively, like there's drums,
It's emotional.
and there's all like that
Flashing lights and
yeah, it's more of like a concert kind of thing.
yeah.
You know, like so I don't know. What's your thoughts on that topic?
Well, to cover some of the topics that you talked about, like one of the things that you mentioned is that it's the same mass everywhere, right? It's the same experience everywhere. It's all the same in the sense that all of the masses perform the sacrifice, that you do get the Eucharist out of it, and that is true. But it used to be where all the masses were all exactly the same. The liturgy was exactly the same. Like right now with the Novus Ordo, to a certain extent, it's the same, but some dioceses in different parts of the world do some other different type of liturgy. So like the liturgy we got from the priest today here in Austin, Texas, might not be the same that we got from from the same priest in Brazil or
Right.
France or the Philippines. They might be saying some other stuff. And or in Germany. Germany is like the worst. Like for real. Like they have like they brought in a big dead whale into the church.
Uh-huh.
Well, like 4 weeks ago, something like that. And it became like this whole. It became more Protestant. Like it became like hey, we're here to dance and let the Holy Spirit flow through you, like some kind of rave or something in mass. So to that point, it used to be very universal, very like it's the same
Yeah.
mass everywhere. Now it's kind of a little different mass here and there. Really, I think a lot of it is definitely the liturgy, like what it's actually said, and the other is the reverence. Like what I mean, we're literally going to go present ourselves in front of God, and sometimes like I go to like a regular Novus Ordo mass or whatever. Like there's people that are just they go because their parents made them or it's out of some kind of obligation, and then people go like in t-shirts or I've seen people in shorts and um that like no one pays attention. Like going back to what the priest talked about in the homily today is that the mass used to be all in Latin. And the point of Vatican II was, all right, let's move away from Latin and let's get to the local Vulgate, to the local language of people. And now I think that separated like true Catholics even more because now you have like a mass, a Filipino mass, you have a Spanish mass, or you have an English mass. So at one point, are the Filipino Catholics ever mingling with the Spanish Catholics, with the English Catholics? Like they never see each other, ever. And before it used to be like, it's more of a time thing. Okay, I'm gonna go at 10 or 12 or 2. But now it's like, oh no, the Spanish Mass is at 2, so I can't go at 10 because that's in the English. I can't go at 12 because that's in a different language or whatever. So I think that kind of caused more separation than it did unity, or anyone else that from the outside coming into the Catholic Church. Maybe it does help them in the sense that, oh, okay, well, I understood the words that they said, but it doesn't seem like anyone else really got anything from it. Um, like the priest said, it used to be all in Latin and we don't understand Latin, so we didn't get anything of it. But now it's in English and we're still not getting anything from it. And like prior to Vatican II, the Catholic attendance to church was 80% of Catholics went to church and believed in the real presence of the Eucharist. And then post Vatican II, what do you say, like 20
or 30%.
20 or 30% Catholics go to church now. And imagine that. Of those 20 to 30% of Catholics that still go to church, how many of those actually believe in the real presence? And I would say like a majority probably don't.
No, less than 50%.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you just judge something from by its fruits than what its intentions were, then I would say you can validly say that like Vatican II didn't really help bring more people in. It actually more so destroyed the faith for a lot of regular Catholics.
I definitely see where you're coming from. I think it's hard if you're a church leader making that decision because
Like when you say church leader, what do you mean? Making what decision?
like sorry. So I think when you're making that decision to allow masses to be said in native tongues, and I think it's tough to see into the future and know like this unintended consequence of that action. Because like when they made that change, I'm sure that they made it with an open mind and they're trying to make it with like like they had a positive intention behind that change. Whether or not that the consequence from that action was positive or not, I don't think that's something that they could have accounted for during that time. Like
why do you think Vatican II happened?
I think Vatican II happened because think the church wanted to, like, essentially, like, their goal was to bring more people into the faith. And I think,
Yeah, but why in 1950? Like, why did the church, what did John Paul the 23rd, why did he decide that, hey, I need,
that's a great question.
yeah,
That's honestly a great, like, that's honestly a great question. Like, I don't know what triggered his, um, mind that was like, hey, I need to make this drastic move in the church. But what I'm trying to
see, like, I have some theories, but I think,
what do
like,
you think?
I want to save that towards as our like last topic that we talk about, because that topic, as soon as I start talking about it, like that type of stuff, I won't be able to put on YouTube. So I'll put that at the end, and then anyone that wants to see like what we actually talk about, I'll put that in like a members only type thing,
Yeah.
because it gets pretty deep and kind of um divisive, I
Mhm.
guess.
But yeah, I think the overall purpose of Vatican II was, I think, to bring like an increase in the number of people who go to mass and who become Catholic and who go to church. And I'm just saying this from like an evangelical perspective, right?
Hmm.
Like, if like, I know some of my friends who would invite like some of their non-Catholic friends to go to mass with them, and it's like, if I bring them to mass and it's like a traditional Latin mass, they're gonna be like, yo, like, I didn't understand anything, I wasted my time, like, I'm gonna go back next Sunday to like my
Yeah.
normal service, because like I understand the worship music and like I can understand what the priest is saying during the sermon, for instance. But I think like now, if they were bring like, I was bringing someone to like a mass nowadays, like a modern mass, they'd be able to understand and at least follow along like what's going on.
Hmm.
But I think they, at a certain point, like, yeah, they would definitely get lost in like what we're doing and like what's happening,
Yeah.
and they definitely wouldn't like understand the whole transubstantiation concept.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's the thing is like, if you are bringing someone, so like if I'm trying to evangelize and I invited a friend to come witness the mass and the sacrifice, then, and I'm trying to convince them of the Eucharist, that the Eucharist is a true presence. Okay. So they come to a Novus Ordo mass, and then they see um the priest consecrate the host, and then we do communion. But then you see, if you truly believe that this is our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, God is in our presence, then, and the priest has these faculties and these powers to bring about Jesus and bring his presence to us, then we should be really careful about that host, right? Like, we should be very diligent to make sure that not even a single crumb, because even a crumb, that is still Jesus. Like, there should be a lot of care into that. And before, only consecrated hands could touch it. Like, only consecrated hands could touch it. So only priests can touch it. Um, and I think in special occasion, deacons can give communion. Because before it was all communion through the mouth, and it was, and like today like, I love that today they put the kneeler, and I've never been to a Novus Ordo mass where they put the kneeler up there.
mm-hmm.
That was the first time I've ever seen that happen.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Um, and like, like, I was really excited about that. I was like,
Yeah.
wow. But so
Yeah,
so
I knew you
imagine,
would be excited.
yeah. So imagine taking someone to that mass and then seeing someone go and kneel and take communion in the mouth, and then some other people taking it in the hand, and then, like, okay, now you have the body of Christ on your palm. Now you have to grab it, lift it up, and then put it in your mouth. During that whole transition, how are we sure that,
Yeah.
like, you just don't have like a crumb, or like your hands are clean? Like, I doubt any of those people wash their hands right before um going to church. Like, it seems like, if I was from the outside looking in and these people are trying to convince me that this is Jesus Christ, well, I mean, I guess they don't really get, like, I guess they don't care. Like,
Yeah.
about it if they're receiving on the hands, and not just that, but regular laity, regular, like, they can give communion, like, because like that was also as a kid I also had questions about that, because I remember my grandma was really excited about being um
Eucharistic minister.
yeah, she was really excited about it, and then like she would always volunteer to be one, and as a kid I always thought, oh, if like that's Jesus and the priest is super important and like he has to do it, why
Mm-hmm.
why does it like get passed around like it's some treats and
Yeah.
stuff? Here, give people the treats,
Yeah.
you know? Like I did have that question as a kid, and now that I'm older, now that like we are trying to convince people that this is the body and blood of Christ, but we're just all willy-nilly about it, then it doesn't corroborate our beliefs, I would say.
Yeah, I think like uh, I'm with you on like I believe in the traditional way of how things were done. I do think it's very dangerous the way that the church is moving in this direction, like
Mm-hmm.
allowing you to so liberally like receive the Eucharist. You know, like in the past you'd have to kneel. You'd have to kneel and you could only receive it on the tongue.
Not only
Now you
that,
can stand.
but there was an altar server who even so like pre-Vatican II, altar servers were on the trajectory to become priests. Like if you wanted to be an altar server as a kid, that was like a trajectory to find your vocation into the priesthood. Now altar servers is more like, hey, oh, yeah, I want to participate,
Yeah.
whatever. And now girls can be altar servers, and now
Yeah.
altar servers are kind of more like I said earlier, it just feels like we're putting on a show. But altar servers, like in the Latin Mass, if when you go to a Latin Mass, you know that those altar servers are taking it seriously. Like when I go to the one in with Saint Martin de Porres, like those they seem like SEAL Team 6. Like they are dedicated and they are taking this super seriously. And whenever you go up to take communion, you kneel, and then one of these altar servers, they
Yeah.
put this thing just in case a crumb falls, it'll be caught by this big disc that they have that they put underneath your face when you receive communion. And I've seen it on various occasions to where after communion, when they take that disc and go put it away, I see the altar server like examine it,
Mm-hmm.
and he sees this little speck. He goes back to the altar and shows the priest, and the priest like goes over it again just to make sure he gets every single little crumb, and then the priest
Mm-hmm.
like looks at it again, and like they're super like
Yeah.
reverent about it. And but
I love that.
yeah.
Dude, I would love to go to Latin Mass
Mm-hmm.
sometime.
I mean, if you I don't know when you have
Do you usually go on Sundays?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's only one Latin Mass in
What time is it on Sunday?
Austin. It's at 1:30
PM? Dude, I could definitely make that.
Yeah.
'Cause I go to teach at like in the mornings. So I'm done by 12.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
I could definitely go to like a Latin Mass.
Yeah.
I would love to.
And I guess the other reason I'm kind of like leaning more, like I feel more affinity towards the Latin. By the way, this is more water if you want more water. I have more affinity towards the Latin Mass is because Benedict opened it up to, if you're a priest and you want to celebrate the Roman Rite, you can't. Like you don't need permission from your bishop to be able to do that. Like if like here with this monk, he could have celebrated the Latin Mass if he wanted to, back when Benedict was
Yeah.
Pope. But once going back to like Francis is a complete opposite of Benedict. Instead, like he negated Benedict's proclamation that priests have the power to decide whether or not to do that, and Francis came out with this teaching called Traditionis Custodes,
Mm-hmm.
which restricted the Latin Mass in a very, very like heavy-handed way, to where so priests can't decide, the bishops can't decide, the cardinals can't decide. You have to have the Pope give you permission to be able to celebrate the Latin Mass. and the only way that they got around it was like these fraternities, like the FSSP or the SSPX, like those people that were already, like, their whole point is a traditional Latin Mass. They were the only ones who could continue celebrating it.
Yeah.
But if you're a diocesan parish, like here in Austin, like you can't. Like St. Mary's Cathedral, they used to celebrate the Latin Mass there. Imagine the Latin Mass in that,
Yeah.
like, beautiful cathedral, like with incense, just the aroma and the bells. And because I went there one time, and that was the first time I ever experienced like Mass in Latin. It wasn't a full Latin Mass, but it was Mass in Latin. And like and the people that went to the Latin Mass, they were all super, like, it's almost like they dressed up to go to a wedding. Like they were all, it was packed, dude. It was really packed. And then like all women and little girls like had veils on, and everybody was super reverent. Like they would genuflect before entering the pew, and anytime they would cross over to the other side, they would always genuflect when they crossed the tabernacle. And it all just felt like, okay, all these people, like, I believe that they believe that this is the body and blood of Christ. And so that was like a shock. But then, not to like spite this new bishop or whatever, but now we got this new bishop that was appointed by Pope Leo. And he was like, yeah, no, we're stopping this. This is no longer going to happen. And this cannot happen at any consecrated church in Austin. So now the Latin Mass is basically illegal at all churches. And the one that I do go to at St. Martin de Porres, like, they can't even celebrate it inside their actual church. They celebrate it in their parish hall.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But they are in the Austin diocese?
Mm-hmm.
So how are they able to celebrate it even?
Because it's not in the church.
Oh, that's the only reason?
Yeah, and the priest that is celebrating it already had the faculties prior to.
From Pope Francis?
Yeah.
Because he's part of the SSP?
I don't know what he's a part of.
Yeah.
But it's not just him. That there's all they have a rotation of priests that travel around to be able to perform the Latin Mass for various parishes.
Why do you think that the church has been so restrictive on the Latin Mass since Vatican II?
Because they want people to buy into Vatican II, to buy into the Novus Ordo. They can't have anybody doubt it. You can't doubt Vatican II. You have to come in with the new. You have to accept it. And I have other like going back to this this stuff that I'd rather wait till the end. But basically, I don't know. I just don't. I believe Pope Francis was our pope, but like I don't think it, especially the people around him. I don't think that they really were trying to cultivate like what Catholicism is. I think they did a lot to splinter a lot, to separate a lot of Catholics.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Even especially, it seems like they're going after the true believers, dude. That's what it really bothers me about. Like, it bothers me the most is that they're targeting the people that truly believe, and like that really bothers me. Because you could, like, in St. Peter's, they celebrated an Anglican Mass. Like, it was Anglican priests and Anglican deacons, and they celebrated their Anglican liturgy in St. Peter's.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So you can bring in a Protestant to celebrate their fake Eucharist inside St. Peter's and all these other masses.
Yeah.
But you can't facilitate the Latin Mass.
Which is the original form of the Mass.
Yes.
That we've been using for 2,000 years.
They're like, no, Anglicans, you could come here and come celebrate, whatever. But, traditionalists? No, hell, no. Yeah. I guess that's why I kind of have like I feel like it's kind of icky. Yeah, it feels icky.
So
that's what I would.
So when you go to this Novus Order's Mass?
Novus Ordo means new order.
Right.
Yeah.
When you go to these Masses, because I don't know how often you go. Probably rarely. Like I don't know.
No, I mean,
But
I go to the Novus Ordo anytime I can't go to the,
yeah,
because there's only one Latin Mass in one time
yeah.
slot
So you're not
every
able to.
Sunday.
You're busy
So
at 1:30 or
so if
something.
I can't go at 1:30, then I go to the regular Novus Order. And I have I love the priest here at St. Francisco
Uh-huh.
here in like next to me. St. Peter is close, but this one's
Well,
also pretty close.
yeah.
Yeah, they're both like 13 minutes away.
Mhm.
And that priest is the one who helped me and my wife get married,
Oh,
like get all the documents together. And he was the one that sent it to the Austin diocese, who then sent it to the diocese, because we got married in Mexico at a Catholic church in
yeah.
Mexico. And this also plays into it a little bit, that like when I got married, obviously when you get married, like it's a serious thing. Like as Catholics, you are coming before God and
Right.
like promising him that this is your wife, and you are her husband, and the vows, these are actual vows that you are taking in front of God. When we got married in Mexico at this Novus Ordo cathedral, like it was a cathedral, it was beautiful. Um but the priest, it wasn't even a priest. I think he was a deacon. A deacon celebrated our mass. Like there wasn't even a priest there,
That's
dude.
crazy, dude.
There was a priest, but he was outside sitting on the bench.
That's crazy.
And this deacon, like he was, we got there, like our whole wedding party, like we got this big shuttle bus to take all of our wedding party there, and all the people that traveled to come visit in Mexico. And he started the mass before me and my wife like were even in the church. So we didn't have the procession to come in, like they just said go 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 go. It started. And like he started the mass, and then after the mass had already started, that's when my wife finally came in,
Yeah.
because the wedding planner was like, no, like we have to have her like walk down the aisle. Like that's a really important thing.
Right.
We can't just skip that.
Yeah.
And that deacon was just like, no, we're skipping it. Like we're starting now. And he just rushed through the whole thing. And then when he announced our names, he didn't announce our names. He announced my parents' names. We're here for the matrimony of Gerardo and Tomasa like my parents' names. And I was like, no. But he just kept on going. And like he was annoyed. Like that dude was annoyed the entire time. And yeah, it just felt like kind of, I just felt icky, I guess.
Dude, I'm sorry you had that
Natural,
experience.
yeah.
Do you think that well, I mean, one, like, do you think that you ever had thoughts about like doing it again?
Getting married again? No, I think my marriage is valid. Like,
Even with
even
the
though,
deacon?
even if it was all fucked up like that, like, I think it was still like, well, at least in my heart and in my, so I still
Mm-hmm.
believe I made those vows in front of God,
Mm-hmm.
and I still think there was a valid Eucharist, and um yeah, and now that I'm thinking about the valid Eucharist,
Dude, I
don't
struggle.
think
I
so.
struggle with that too because
Yeah.
if he's just a deacon, like they don't even read the Eucharistic prayer.
Mm-mm.
You know, like they
Oh no, because what he did was that
he had the other guy come back in.
no, there was already because you know how the
Oh,
tabernacle already has a bunch of
yeah,
hosts in there. I think he just grabbed it from the tabernacle and gave it that way.
right. So the whole Eucharistic prayer and consecration part was like performative.
Yeah, I guess. See, like all this stuff is kind of. It feels like they're pushing me towards the Latin Mass, dude. It like
Yeah,
because because I obviously grew up with the Novus Ordo, and I always
right.
like yeah.
Dude, I think if you, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think this is like this experience. Like, I don't think this was an intention at all of Vatican II.
No, not at
And
all.
I think if you, like, if you're wavering a little bit in any aspect, especially for something so like huge as like the church,
Mm-hmm.
like if you're wavering even the slightest in like the consistency in who you are as an identity of a church, then you're gonna have people who take advantage of that like that wavering conviction and take it out of proportion so that it's like beyond like what was acceptable. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that aspect is like central to humanity. Like it's something that just every human has always had.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't just give me one beer and expect me to drink one beer. You know, like I'm gonna drink like 5
Yeah.
at a certain point. But like, yeah, that's why I struggle with Vatican II really, because now that I'm really talking with you about it and like deep diving into like your different experiences, like in your perspective, like I do genuinely believe in the like I love the tradition, even if I don't understand the Latin. Like I know that there's depth to it.
Yeah.
I know that the history behind it is rich.
Yeah.
Like people probably fight wars and have battles over the specific words that we're using at mass. You know what I mean? And like they've had like
The traditional Latin Mass was developed
Yeah.
over like 1,700 years, dude.
right.
It was developed into what it was. And then at Vatican II, they said they stripped it all away. They stripped it all away. They're like, all right, we're not developing this. We're just doing a hard reset on everything, starting from scratch. And the guy, so like, why Vatican? So one of the things that I will go into, the guy that was in charge of the changing of the liturgy, his name was Bugini, Father Bugini, and there was a lot of controversy around that guy. Like, there's a lot of accusations that this guy might be a Freemason. Do you know what those are?
No.
A like Freemasonic. It's like a Gnostic type religion.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like not just the Freemasons, but also there was a whole lot of Jewish influence that went into Vatican II, that tried to strip away everything that was Christian about the liturgy, and that is not so offensive to the world and to the Jews, to make it more palatable to everybody else. So like now, like do you want to get into it? Like,
Yeah.
okay,
I'm down.
Well, we'll get into it. If people wanna see like what or like hear my perspective on Vatican II and how I think there was a whole lot of outside like nefarious influences, especially from the Jews, especially from the Jews, then I'll put the link to wherever like that the rest of that is going to be inside the description of the episode. But yeah, we'll start talking about the Catholic perspective on the Jews, because again, I didn't know who the Jews were up until, well, I kind of knew, but I didn't really pay
Yeah.
attention to them until like the whole Gaza stick thing started popping off. But so we'll move on. I'm a pause this just to have a hard like a hard reset and then start it up again. Bye, folks. We'll see you on the next. I think that's also something I'm actually really excited about, to be able to have these types of conversations with it, like the Protestant brethren, because this is scary, dude. Like, it is scary.
Yeah.
And either way, I think the Catholic view on the whole end of the world stuff is more like beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more holistic. It's more complete. You know, like I don't think that I have ever had a question I can't find the answer to anywhere. Dude, I don't know, man. You said a lot. It's a lot for me to kind of unpack. Because I, like, to be honest, I haven't gone through that much depth and detail in like current history
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like how our relationships are and have been with the Jews.
Yeah.
But like definitely like really interesting stuff. Like I'm definitely gonna be looking into it.
Yeah. It's a
and
wild.
bringing my own opinions.
It's a huge roller coaster,
For
dude.
the next podcast, but
Yeah. And that's also I'm really excited about too. Are the people that just like that have different, like how I was talking about the truth game the other day, like people that have differing opinions. If we could at some point, because obviously this isn't like a big podcast. Like there's not millions of people that are gonna watch this. So I think if we could just have like the most real like type of conversations that we could have, not just for us, but like our buddies that end up watching this, like I think that's also a very beautiful
Oh yeah,
thing
for
that
sure.
like from a Catholic mindset can really like bring about some real good.
Dude, I think Charlie Kirk said one of his quotes that I really like was like the moment people stop talking is when violence happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like dude, like we should not be ever shying away from like tough conversations and like getting the truth out, because the moment that we do, like that's when we start looking at each other differently and start judging each other based off of like what we conceive their belief to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like because like we're saying all these things about like what the Protestants and the Jews believe, but like I'd rather have, you know,
I'd rather have a Jew here
exactly,
or a
and
Protestant.
actually like talk to them about this
Yeah.
and not come out of it in like a hostile way. More
No.
approaching it in terms of like yeah, share with me like what you believe, and I'll tell you like where I'm coming from, and then we'll actually
Yeah.
like try and see. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's so exciting to think that that could actually happen.
Yeah.
If you know any Jewish people, or someone who has the opposite opinion that is willing to talk about it, like,
Yeah.
I'd love to talk about it.
Nah, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun. I have some Protestant friends. Maybe I can invite them
Yeah.
sometime. I think it'll be a good talk.
Yeah, 100%. Because the other thing is that obviously we're not experts in any of this.
Nah, yeah, dude.
But the thing is that like the experts have hailed us over and over and over again. Like it's kind of like it's hard to trust a public figure.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like if we can just try to articulate what we actually believe,
Yeah.
and obviously we're not married to those ideas that like our family members or our friends, that like they'll also be able to express themselves in everyday situation. Like it doesn't have to be a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Like it could be at work without you being afraid that you're going to catch an HR incident.
Yeah.
You know, like like that would be beautiful if that could start happening at work again,
Right.
without it getting like weird.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like it is like that. That'd be cool. But yeah, overall, just everyday occasions, because this is some heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Like heavy stuff. This is like it got heavy for me once I started seeing babies blow up, dude. Like,
Nah, yeah, dude.
like that was a reality check I never thought I'd ever like really try to contemplate.
Right.
Yeah, that hurts, and it's weird to, because I wouldn't say I'm an empathetic person.
Really?
Like I would say I'm very selfish. Like in my mind, at least, I think I'm very selfish, or I think in a very selfish way. But I try to be empathetic. I know I try to be, but that's what it is. It's me trying. It's not that it's not that it's like born out of me to be super empathetic and to go out of my way to do stuff. And that has been one of my biggest how would you say, like
Right.
like not because I don't think it's something that like I don't choose it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's one of those things that like if when you look in and try to evaluate like what your shortcomings are as a person, it's one of those things that I have identified.
Yeah.
As in like, okay, like you, like this isn't normal not to like that this empathy isn't born out of you. Like there should be a way for it to happen naturally without you forcing it, and um you being able to manage it and utilize it effectively to grow closer with people.
Right.
But and now coming back to Catholicism and thinking about these things, thinking about these higher level, like otherworldly type of implications, it's made me feel that again.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never thought I could empathize with someone on the other side of the world
That you've never met.
that I've never met. Yeah, like that I don't even have the concept as to like who they are, or like what personality they have, or what culture they're like. I don't know. I just know that they are people though.
Mm-hmm.
and like like I feel like we're killing ourselves. Like we are, as a humanity, we're just committing suicide just all over. We're just like
Mhm.
we're knifing ourselves here and there, and that like it it has affected me, and that has invigorated me a lot, and I I I have nothing to thank but for like this faith, this thing we call Catholicism. it it's really brought me back to life, you know. Um, so hopefully others can you know
Yeah.
get on with the program.
Yeah, so being Catholic has helped you, I guess, like become more empathetic.
Yeah, 100%. That and mushrooms. Mushrooms was the first time I ever I ever felt like outside of myself,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a different experience. I never like could even like
I need to try it
try to
sometime.
articulate. Yeah. Um, but I did, and not only that, I was able to feel this like electrical like current that was coming out of me into the ground and was connected to everybody around the world.
Yeah.
Like I felt that whatever current is coming out of me is going into ground, but to this thing that like connects all of
Where everyone's
us.
going to ground.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like I had a moment where it's like, oh, there's a lot of me here,
Yeah.
like a lot all over, and like dealing with different shit. And that's like it was like a reality check. Like, oh shit, like I'm not alone. My problems aren't just
Mm-hmm.
like my own. Like there has to be like someone else that has the exact same
Yeah.
like issues, or like not even issues, just like we're all in this, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like we're all in this, and if we're gonna figure it out, then it has to be in through religion, through
Yeah.
a theistic type of mindset.
Very interesting, dude.
Yeah, I get carried away when we're not on YouTube, dude.
Yeah, I really value your perspective. Like it's like I don't know, like I don't feel like I talk enough to people on like a deeper level about, especially about religion, dude. Like everyone at the church I go to is very, I wouldn't say everyone, but like most people are like very surface level.
Hmm.
Everything seems kind of performative. And
Yeah,
it's like, it's like at the end of the day, like, are we, are we actually here to like worship, or like, what are we doing here kind of deal?
yeah,
It's kind of drawn me away from being too involved over there.
yeah,
Cause like, I've always wanted to like I know that like, oh, there's a big community and like everyone's going to church and like, oh, that's a good thing. But I I see a lot of value. Not, I've never been like a person that's like try to make too many friends. I mean, I know that I can make friends. Like, it's not something that I'm worried about. It's just like I I like really value the investment and the time that I have and the people that I do invest that time with. And it's like for those kind of people at church, it's like we can have like a surface level relationship, but like it's hard to go into detail, into great depth about like religion, and like even have a study, or like even just like having these kind of conversations. You know, I just don't think that that one, like they can, and like two, they wouldn't care for like learning more.
yeah,
You know, like everything seems pretty like surface level at the moment everywhere, and I don't know, maybe that is like a side effect of Vatican II. But I also do think that like that it's like the more people that you get on board with this whole Catholic thing, dude, like you cannot like I don't think we cannot expect everyone to be like very traditional, following the rules. Like everyone had lived their own Catholic faith like differently. Um, like some people are more like intellectually motivated to learn more, and other people are just like okay with the surface level things, and they're okay with like coming to church and believing that like maybe this is like the real presence like sometimes,
Yeah.
you know. But I think that that's okay. Like I don't think that that's a bad thing. Like
Yeah.
like they're coming to church. They're not not there. Like
Yeah.
they could be doing other things. And I think that the way that the people like the church leaders approached Vatican II was with maybe like with this mindset where it's like, say, if we can just get people in those pews, like if that if that's their goal, like if we can just get people in those pews, like God will do his work for us. Like kind of like we were talking about earlier with like evangelism.
Yeah.
Like we can just plant the seed. Like they that God will like harvest that, you know? And I think looking at like the Nova order, it's like that was like I think that the Nova order succeeds in that because
And
it succeeds in like filling up the pews. Maybe like maybe the results of it is not seen like nowadays, but the intent was for filling up the pews.
yeah.
And like I don't fault that, you know? Like I think that
But you think it did fill up the pews?
I think maybe like I mean I don't know looking at the data, like I don't know, but I mean what the priest presents today, like obviously not. You know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
maybe
I
what
think like we were talking about earlier, quality over quantity,
yeah.
and it might be a whole lot more like well of the quantity that is attending mass is like probably not the best quality yet.
Right.
But I think that's also like we could start like we're talking about evangelism with these like Protestants or whatever, but maybe we could start with our own like church, you know,
Mhm.
like the own people that we're trying to uh also like think about these in a like a real way. Like it doesn't have to be serious because like serious can be scary for a lot of people, but like
Yeah.
but it, like because yeah, sometimes it gets dark, but there's a whole lot of light. Like the light just outshines everything. So like even if you are in a dark place, like the light's right there, you know. Um, but it's hard to kind of get yourself in that type of mindset. Like it truly is hard.
Yeah.
Like from just going from like an agnostic state of mind to now a theistic, it's like it can be emotional at times, you know. I don't know. I don't even have the words.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think if they're making that transition, I would prescribe the Nova order over the TLM
Yeah.
in terms of like getting them like for me the Nova order is more of like a learn like a stepping like training wheels.
Yeah.
It's like a stepping stone. Like it eventually they will come to like appreciate the TLM. They if they look deeper and like have a better understanding.
Yeah, it could be like how back in the day the TLM the first half of it was for the people who've never been to mass, and that was like
Oh really?
you get to you get to experience the first half of the traditional Latin mass, but as soon as we start the consecration and the communion, like all those people that aren't Catholic, all right guys, well we showed you a little bit. If you
Yeah.
if you want to partake, get baptized
Hmm.
and um, and go confess,
Yeah.
repent, and come in a state of grace. Like that's how they used to do it. But like I like your idea in that. Yeah, training wheels is a Novus Ordo, but that's like what we present to them. But like for like the 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 crescendo, the this is well, okay, all right. We're showing you this is the training wheels. This is like, hey, we're getting you, but we're getting you there. Like we're all gonna be there
Yeah.
at some point because I think like as you start viewing the Eucharist as the actual body of Christ, it like you will I think it's almost like for like it's involuntary. Like you want to be more reverent,
Right.
and you want others to be reverent with you because like you care about you, like that is like the life, like that, like this is why you're here. This is why we're all here. So I think that's just like an involuntary thing. And when you're in that environment where everybody is just like they agree, I agree. That is the most important thing, like in this reality.
Yeah, but I think it's tough because if we do have quantity,
Quality,
it
you mean?
sorry, no, quantity. Like
Uh-huh.
if we do have quantity of people like increase, it's very difficult to be reverent when, I mean, it could take even like one person to be irreverent for you to like I think being irreverent is a chain reaction thing. Like I guarantee you, if you take like an irreverent person and you bring them into a TLM environment where everyone is reverent,
Yeah.
I guarantee you that over the weeks, like that person is going to, like, they're the odd one out. Like they're gonna be like, why am I being irreverent? Like, what is my dress? Like, what am I wearing to mass? And like,
Yeah.
you know,
But that's assuming that someone calls them out. But if they do want to stick out as a sore thumb and like,
I think that
yeah,
that if they were like truly, you know, like truly serious about their faith, that they wouldn't even need anyone to call them out. Like
that's
I
what I
feel out of place.
No, I know, but like you're talking about someone that isn't really interested. They're just kind of there to support you.
I'm talking about like a Catholic who's irreverent.
Oh, like right now, like reverts are a whole different thing than converts, I would say.
Yeah.
Like reverts are a whole different thing. Because the traditional Latin Mass isn't why I reverted. Like that wasn't what caused me to really start like diving into this.
No, I'm just talking about like someone who goes to mass and doesn't believe in the real presence.
Uh-huh.
Like and like
Like I would consider those reverts too.
Oh, really?
Because as soon as they do see it as a real presence,
Mhm.
I think that like it does that. I guess that's my point, is that once you like actually believe that that is a real presence, like it changes your behavior,
Right.
at least inside the mass, at least while it's there, at least while it's actually happening.
Mhm.
Like I think like that, like it's almost like the veil is lifted.
Yeah.
Like today, it was in today's reading. It's like Jesus was resurrected and he met a couple of the apostles. I don't know, like inside some
Emmaus? He was on the path to Emmaus?
yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't know who he was, but they, they broke bread together. And as
And
soon as
that's
they
when they,
broke that
yeah.
bread, like,
Yeah.
oh man, what? Like, I think that's what happens I think that is the same effect that happens when they begin to believe
Okay.
that that's the Eucharist.
So the root cause for irreverence is not truly believing in the real presence.
Yeah.
I think I would agree with that. So do you think if you bring those people into it, like an environment where everyone's reverent and everyone believes that they will begin to believe themselves?
Well, no, that's the thing. That's the other thing with the traditional Latin Mass that I like is that it allows like it's so strange. You call it that. It's strange.
Mm-hmm.
It's outside of the normal. It's not normal.
Yeah.
It's like a different thing for like most people. So it allows you to, well, this is how I'm thinking about it, is that since you see it as what it is, like the Eucharist, then I think that that puts the onus on us to be able to attend these, like, all right, these Monday night, studies with other people that really, really, really care and are interested in the same things as you do. Like, why is it that we genuflect during this prayer and not this prayer? Like, hey, let's evaluate this prayer that we always say at Mass. Like, why do we say that prayer? When was it introduced into the liturgy? Like, by who and why? Like, what was the point of that? And we can, like actually study what it is that we do every Sunday, because it is like every aspect of it is just like if you believe in the Eucharist, it's beautiful. Like it really
Yeah.
is, like really impactful. It's so impactful that it also, like, at least this is how it's affecting me. I don't want to sin. Like I'm actively trying not to.
Mhm.
And I know there are even certain habits that I know I've had that are sinful, like that. I have been able to stop those for prolonged amounts of time, just because I'm like I want to be in a state of grace.
Yeah.
I want to be able to receive communion.
Mhm.
Like I want to, like that. Like it's a craving I have every week now. So it's like I need to be good.
You need to be clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, man. I think that makes perfect sense what you're saying. Like it just comes down to the true presence, really.
Yeah.
Like if you actually genuinely believe that, then so many other things come out of that.
Yeah.
You know, but then
It's like blasts you off to a different world, dude.
but then it's like really easy to tell like who really believes in like the true presence and who doesn't,
Mhm.
just by like the way they act and stuff. Nah, man, I share the same sentiment. Like it's a huge motivating factor to avoid sin in order to remain in a state of grace in order to be worthy of receiving communion. I mean, we're never like truly like worthy, but
Yeah.
in order to like be able to come and receive communion, I think
Yeah.
that's something that
Like imagine feeling so grateful just to like I am actually not worthy, but you're allowing me, you know? Like,
yeah.
I can do this. Like
Like we literally said that
still
last.
accepting me like I like I go, oof.
Dude, but yeah, I mean, I think going back to like what we were saying before, like in an ideal world, like all 1 billion Catholics would believe in this true presence. But I think what the church and leaders and what maybe Vatican II is banking on is like we can modernize a little bit and have all these people come and maybe like they're not feeling this every week, but if they come to this realization maybe once in their life, like I would they I think the church leaders from Vatican II would argue that hopefully that amount of like grace would be enough for their salvation. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then like I'm just thinking more so like from a Vatican II perspective, like if we can just get all these people here and maybe just like one time, like what I'm thinking, what I see this as is like, dude, like we're just like throwing a bunch of darts and we're trying to hit a target, and like I don't need all my targets to hit every time. Like I don't need every single mass for this person to like believe in the Eucharist every single time they go to mass. Like I think that's a very stretch for like a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But like, man, if I can get him to believe just one time, and maybe God, like with that and with that like time, like God's able to like work enough
Yeah.
for them to like.
But you're saying someone that came into the mass without any, like, it's not a friend that you brought to the mass. It's just someone random that, like, someone that just came to the mass.
Maybe someone came to the mass like forced out of like coming with their friend, or like forced out of coming from their parent, or like forced out of, or like someone that just like willy nilly wanted to attend the mass. Like maybe they don't attend. Like one of my priests back at home coined this term. It's pretty funny. He calls it like CEO Catholics.
CEO Catholic?
Basically what that is Christmas and Easter only. So those are the only times they go to church. Like those kind of people.
Yeah.
Like I think Vatican II is trying to target those people. At the cost of the ones who are like really devout and really appreciate the Catholic.
You're saying Vatican II is after the CEO people.
Yeah, in the sense that like if we can modernize the mass, and these people who like dude, like they never come to mass, and you come to mass and they're not gonna understand the TLM.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I would argue that those CEO people came from faithful Catholics that were part of the 80% that did attend the mass.
What do you mean by came from?
like you know how we're just gonna keep using Father just today as an example, but when he said that when the traditional Latin Mass was a thing, 80% of
Yeah,
Catholics
yeah.
attended the Mass every Sunday, um, and believed in the real presence. But now those CEO Catholics, I believe, are like the offspring of those Catholics, and now they where they used to like grew up going to church every Sunday, but now they're CEO Catholics because they're not they don't really,
hmm
you know, they are CEO Catholics. They actually left. Like, what's going to bring them back?
Yeah.
Like, what brought me back was not the Novus Ordo. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I think I don't know. I don't know if it's valid for Father to make a direct like cause and effect
Yeah.
relationship to say that like, oh, because we went to the Novus Order, that is the root cause for how
No, no,
people
it's
like that.
definitely. I mean, it's
I
not
think
the root cause.
I think
I
it's
would say
society.
it's like a
Like,
big cause.
yeah, I I would say it's like a cause, but I think the main cause is going to be like just how society has been changing.
Yeah, but who let it change? Why did society change?
What do you mean? Like
What? Like, why did society degenerate to what it is?
that? I mean, that's a tough question, but I think
Yeah.
because
Well, because now I'm looking at everything as like through the Catholic lens.
right.
Like how did like certain things in Catholicism, like of like faithful Catholics and who bounce off these other like types of people and religions and stuff. Like what was the cause and effect based on like what happened within Catholicism during that time? Like I try to see that like through that lens now.
Like
Just
through the Catholic lens.
yeah.
I think that I think in general like, the drop from like 80 to 30%. Man, I don't even know how I could begin to
Because you saw the
describe
guy.
that.
There was a guy while we were at mass today. He was counting everybody in the pews. I don't know if you noticed him. He was like, "Yeah, he pointed at me, 33, 34.
Really?
Yeah.
I think maybe, dude, I've been to some churches where they count people too.
Yeah.
It's probably just for some records.
Yeah, no. I like that they count. Like, I think
Yeah,
that's a good thing. Like, I think it's a good thing that the church keeps records of
of like their number of
the church
attendance.
attendance. Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I really do not know the answer to that.
Hmm.
Like why church attendance has dropped so much.
Yeah. Or why like degeneracy has just
Yeah,
become the norm now. Like, why certain like ideas like transgenderism or
I think like my opinion is like these ideas were going to be degenerate. Like these degenerate ideas were going to be like of this world um eventually.
Mhm.
I just think social media and like the internet and everything like facilitated that timeline, like accelerated that timeline
Yeah.
for it to be like so soon. Um, but I don't think that like I think it was gonna be there anyways. You know, like it comes from
No, I mean, I do think that it was like, oh, I'm kind of happy that it happened how it did because like this is because I'm now on the path, right? But like you only celebrate the path once you're on the path, right? But never mind, I forgot my point. Sorry, I interrupted you.
dude, yeah, but to be honest, like I don't know. Like I think if you stray too much away from institutions that um like if you stray too much away from like I think it really comes down to like what we're talking about earlier about the capital T truth. Like if we go into all these different things and just begin to like celebrate lowercase truths. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this guy's a woman. Sure. We'll celebrate that. You know what I mean? And
Uh-huh.
like we started celebrating these like local truths,
Yeah.
these like lowercase T truths, then that every single celebration is like a confidence motivator for those people to like
Start pretending
Like,
that
pat yourself on the back
lowercase
for that.
truth is a uppercase
Right.
truth.
Right. And then whenever you have too many uppercase truths, it's like a degenerate society in a sense.
Yeah.
Because then because everyone's now afraid. I feel like a lot of people nowadays are afraid to speak up about like finding the capital T truth.
Yeah.
And they're more so content with everyone just having their own lowercase truth.
Yeah. Ecumenism, I heard is what you call that.
Yeah. But it's like, oh, if you believe that, bro, sure.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to challenge, like, I'm at work. I'm not going to challenge you because then I'm going to get sent to HR.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And HR is going to get rid of me and I don't want to lose my job. So I'm not going to, sure.
Yeah.
You can believe that. But I think maybe that is the root cause. It's like we stray too far away from everyone as a society is just like so afraid to be canceled or like just to have these tough conversations.
Yeah.
About like what the capital T truth is. And we just allow and enable lowercase truths to like exist.
Yeah.
And we should be like trying to like combat those all that we can. Because if we start accepting a subjective truth, like a subjective reality, then and the further away that we like divulge from like the objective truth, then like I mean that's when you have all these disagreements, these conflicts, and these like an entirely split society.
But if you think about it through the Catholic lens,
Yeah.
what is the capital T truth?
Like I would the capital T truth in the Catholic.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
sense,
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. I guess I'm just I'm assuming that is. I guess my opinion that the capital T truth of Catholicism is that Jesus was crucified, died, and resurrected from the dead.
Yeah.
Like that is.
Yeah, but I also think that I mean there's also a lot of truths in like other things too.
Well, I mean, yeah, but then you get into like Saint Augustine and Saint Thomas Aquinas when they start saying that you can't like it can't contradict.
Right.
Like if their lowercase truth is going to contradict with our uppercase truth, then that just like like that can't happen. Like we have to prove that to be false. Like the law of non-contradiction, like it can't contradict truths.
Like capital T truths can't contradict other capital T truths.
Yeah.
Do you think we have some capital T truths that contradict each other?
No, not in Catholicism. No.
Yeah.
No.
But I think in other belief systems, for sure.
No. But that's what I mean is that as people like fell away from Catholicism over the years, like this degeneracy has bloomed because they left the capital T truth. I guess that was my point.
No, I agree.
Left. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just like some like religious like nut now, and and I should see it from different like perspectives and stuff. But yeah, it's a like it seems like there's a direct correlation to all this stuff, and especially like imagine if you start putting the Catholic lens through the eyes of what happened in World War One.
Mm-hmm.
If you just look at like our history, like how we reacted, what we did, how we were associated with all of that, like, what were the real events that happened, and what was the narrative that was sold to us, like as Americans, because everybody has a narrative that's sold to it. Like propaganda is a real thing.
Yeah.
But how do you know you're being propagandized?
Right.
So the only truth that I view as truer than whatever proclamations a government says or whatever like some university says, whatever some textbook says, like my grounding for truth is going to be to what happened during, like in the Catholic Church at that time and how they viewed or were associated with certain events in history.
Yeah. But then you're saying other people with other backgrounds would have other things that they would consider like the capital T truth based off of
exactly.
based off of their life experiences and how they were propagandized.
Uh-huh. Well, no, I guess my point is that that's how I'm able to separate from the propaganda.
Oh,
Like it's a different perspective that has opened up.
right.
Like before, I was just viewing like my lens was just through the propaganda of like everything that's around popular shows, movies, government decrees, whatever, like that, and especially the algorithm that's presented to me, right? Like whatever, like my algorithm shows kind of like it's what I like to look at, right? And that's the information that I've been getting. But now looking at information through like a separate perspective, I guess, and whenever they start contradicting, then I have questions. And then I start discerning stuff all over again. Like I start to reevaluate my pre-assumptions.
Yeah, you would see how like someone would be so lost if they didn't have like a moral capital T truth that they would always rely back on.
Yeah,
you know, they would just be like tossed left and right by the propaganda. I think that's also something that's so dangerous about like atheism.
Yeah,
and like not having like a true like arbiter of like what the capital T truth is. And also, I think that that's something that's pretty dangerous about Protestantism too, because I don't think they have these documents that define and literally lay out the doctrine. Like I think they might have like a core sense of belief, but I don't think it's referenced. So I don't think
it's written.
It's written, you know, and then maybe like Pastor John at this church is believing the different things than like Pastor David in a different church at a different state, you know, and it's like okay, well, everyone at Pastor David's church is going to believe differently than everyone at Pastor John's church, even though they all identify as like the same branch of Protestantism, you know. And so it's like I would say like in pursuit of the capital T truth, I would not follow those other I would not try and follow into all those other religions because of that. You know, because if we're really saying that like the root cause of like all these issues that we have nowadays is because like we've allowed everyone to accept a local, like a subjective truth.
Yeah.
Then I think we both get each other. Then like, I mean, I would say like that's the root cause. Then I would try to find an institution that definitively has the objective truth on all matters, you know, and like even new matters that come up, like the church has ways of explaining.
Yeah, like the church needs to start talking about AI.
Yeah, for sure.
How should we be viewing AI for real?
Yeah.
Like I need
like let me know.
I need a doctor of the church to like come about like right about now, man. we need another Mother Teresa or St. Thomas Aquinas to start discerning this whole AI question.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think that's why when you mentioned like about the truth bomb game, I was like, dude, that'd be so fun.
Yeah.
We actually got like people that like wouldn't get triggered.
Yeah.
We said like hard things.
I literally have it written down. The object that the game is asking a question and gets consensus on what the truth to that question is.
Yeah.
I don't know why I wrote this, but I said you're doing too much. I guess you can't do too much.
What do you mean?
Oh, okay. Like you can't while we're playing this game, we can't go and look up like what the truth is.
Oh, yeah.
Like we have to just based on the information that we both have and whether or not we trust that we like actually believe what we're trying to say, that we come to a consensus. Like we can't ask the internet like we have we have certain we have limited amounts of the amount of time that we could ask the internet.
Yeah.
It's only going to be when we're in a really contentious like no. Like it could only happen 3 times and then after 3 times the game's over. Like you guys cannot find the truth. Yeah. Once you have to go to the internet 3 times, then yeah, you lose.
We'd have some good conversations.
Yeah. What else? I said keep it simple. We can only ask. Oh, I guess I said we can only ask grok twice per person. The goal is to get real in a respectful way. Yeah.
No, man, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
For the right people, for sure.
Yeah. Or just do some like this type of stuff, but like just talk about like Catholic stuff with other Catholics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do they know or what do they believe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, why is it different? Like, is it better?
Yeah. I want to bring Carlos in here next.
Really?
Yeah. And have him talk to you too. Because he's trying to find his way.
So is he atheist right now?
He was. Now he considers himself Christian.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So does he know which kind of
He's been going to Catholic church he went at least 4 times, I think.
just go by himself?
Sometimes he goes by himself, yeah. Sometimes he's gone with me twice, and the other times he's gone by himself.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
And you take him to TLM or?
I took
no?
the first one was normal. I actually took him to Station to the Cross as well.
Yeah.
And
During that?
yeah. So
What do you
he really liked
about that?
he really liked Station to the Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really liked that. Like not the live action one that they do, but just like inside the church, going around
Yeah.
the church. So he really liked that. He really liked the reading and like what he got from it. He also really liked the first Novus Ordo Mass that we went to, because the priest kind of like said some powerful stuff about like the evils that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was cool. And oh, actually, he went to the TLM twice.
With you?
Yeah, he went twice. Yeah. Yeah, he likes
do
the
you think about
TLM too. We haven't really like dug deep into like talk about exactly the specifics, but he said it was cool. He liked it.
Dude, I think for him it's like you go to TLM, bro. Like, interesting.
Yeah.
No, it'd be cool if he came too.
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about some good stuff.
Yeah, him and you've never met him, but Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Mario's also one of these CEO type used to be one of the CEO type Catholics.
Yeah.
But now he goes to church every Sunday with his family.
Yeah.
Like he actually goes. But as far as like where he's at on his like true beliefs, like I'm not. He's still discerning that. But right now he's
Right.
going with the Catholic Church. Like
Yeah.
now, and so he's Catholic, but he's still discerning. Do I actually believe?
I think it will take time, and you should definitely like ask some questions.
Yeah, and he is. He is. Yes. The thing is that he's going hard on the Jews. He's going hard in the paint on the Jews, man. Yeah. So I would, I'd try to, yeah, I'd try to ease into it. But yeah, man. Hey, thanks for coming.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to talk about? Like, I know I have a lot to talk about, but I don't know if like.
I didn't really know how I would feel, but I appreciate you for having me.
No, thanks for coming. Come again. We'll see you next time.